the worst mid matchup, but I don't think that that's true anymore. I do think that both these mid laners have a certain strength to them, and I do think it'll be very interesting to see who does come out on top.
Yeah, definitely I can see that. In my personal for my personal matchup, I'm actually excited to see the supports here with Gapik. I've played with him a couple of times, and having him being a sub is going to be interesting to see.
All right, and now we are moving straight into draft. GCC first banning away that Fiddlesticks. Sick will not get that again like he did last week. Katarina Diana banned away on TKK, and Nocturne another ban on GCC. What are you looking for here on this pick and chat? What do you think is a good comp for GCC to work with?
Personally, for me, one thing I always value in comps is the simplicity. It's not always the most exciting thing to watch, but a Wabo combo is useful. Malphite into an Orianna ult or something like that is always great to see. Personally, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to try in first draft, but I'll be excited to see it.
All right, so GCC final bans is the Gnar and Blitzcrank, the final ban for TKK. Interesting. I don't think we actually have seen a Blitzcrank ban.
Yeah, that's definitely probably a target ban. I don't know if Gapik himself really plays it all that much. I've seen him maybe pull it out once or twice, but nothing to the extent that I expect the first ban or the final ban for that, especially if you're going to grab Morgana in that first round, which is a pretty solid matchup into the Blitz, so it's a little confusing on my end.
It seems to be, but Hopeless is a Morgana player as well. We do know her for her Morgana play. Caitlyn is going to be locked by GCC. No Spirit Check, so unfortunately he doesn't get his main. Ashe Morgana is the bot lane matchup so far, so if you're GCC, I'd probably pick support and jungle here. Trying to get as much as you can, get a good jungle matchup, even though there's been no jungle bans, except for Nocturne, and Fiddlesticks, but I don't think GCC jungler plays either one of those.
Interesting, definitely. Because, yeah,
No, we're
personally,
going
I'd
to
say...
get
Oh,
set. Okay.
okay, yeah, that's pretty solid. Can be flexed into practically all 5 roles even at this point. So it's always good, and not the worst matchup into the Morgana either. Can definitely get on top of her and force, if you can do a flash each, you can only black shield one of the targets, the other one's going to get stunned.
Very sorry, I have to flame my mid laner really quick. The names are perfectly correct, Storm. I can't believe this. Anyway, Vi now locked in. So I'm assuming that maybe a set support and Vi is going to be the lock-in, which is interesting. I don't think we've seen a Vi before, but it will be interesting to see if it's most likely a normal build of Divine and Wukong locked on the side of TKK. So really good team fight.
Yeah, the Wukong is a solid pick because either way, GCC has drafted 3 80 champions, and Wukong's obviously good into those just with his passives and armor stacking.
Kiana the next ban. So,
nice.
What would you round out these comps with in your head?
So on my end, at least for GCC, you're definitely looking for an AP champion, probably some form of mage, or either like a mage to kind of help peel for the Caitlyn, make sure that you have another form of damage in case she gets bursted out by an Ashe ult or a Wukong combo, as well as maybe some form of backline support. Just in general, you already have 2 strong frontliners with a Set and Vi. But on TKK, I'm thinking you need to definitely pick another solid engager. Wukong can do the job, but you want someone that can actually have that specific go button to make sure you have more than just the Wukong ult to rely on.
Very interesting. That is 4 mid lane bans to Eris on TKK. And the Blitzcrank ban. And for Saltos, 2 main champs are also banned as well. So the mid laners are getting completely pinched this game.
Yeah, that definitely hurts GCC, I'd say, a little bit with the bans they have. Arguably, Syndra would have been a big pickup for Ares, but I don't know if he actually plays her himself.
And Leona
other people get to play her, but not me. Now I get to watch with envy as I hope to see her put a good showing.
And how does it make you feel, Spanaway?
Hurt.
Very hurt.
It's like
sorry.
seeing your ex dancing with your best friend at like prom or something,
Ooh.
Not that happened. That sounded like it was a sad story. It's not. Just something you'd see in a movie.
So it's Morgana mid, then I assume with this Leona pick, unless it was a mispick. But Maokai and Silas are locked up for GCC.
Yeah,
I don't. I think the Silas actually has decent ults to steal.
yeah,
I
definitely some solid
the
ults for
Ash,
Silas.
the Leona. Don't know much about the Morgana, but it could definitely be an option there. And the Wukong is okay. Corki is actually really poor ult to steal, but we will get Corki locked in. So it's Morgana jungle then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that or
That's
you're having.
right. Fidsick plays Morgana jungle. I completely forgot about that.
That's actually even an excellent pick, then, especially if he's comfortable with the jungle. Morgana, flexing to 3 lanes, so having her in the jungle is useful. I think the Corki pick's actually really solid as well into Silas. Personally, I'm not too familiar with the matchup because you don't really see Corki too much anymore. But I imagine he's a good thing. Range can beat Silas pretty easily, as well as the fact that it denies Silas, a powerful ult to steal if he gets that level advantage.
True. I do like the team comps here. I think TKK more of a pick comp with the Leona Morgana Ash. And
Definitely.
then you do have some team fight reliability with the Wukong and Corki, because Corki late game is really insane.
Hmm.
But on the side of GCC, it looks like it's kind of a pick comp with the Vi and a team fighting with the rest.
Yeah, it's like a go-in comp. You want a Vi or like a Maokai ult to start you in with a Silas, then following up stealing someone's ult to like layer down that CC. Meanwhile, I imagine it's probably Maokai support. He'll just be like peeling Caitlyn while Caitlyn just gets their free fire on whoever's the closest target. Okay, never
No,
mind. It's a Maokai top.
it's Maokai top. Okay, President Mundo will be whipping it out. Dr. Mundo wasn't banned. Sad we don't get to see President Mundo on Mundo. But hey, we learned to live with him. And Maokai into Wukong is kind of a losing matchup for Maokai, I assume. Even though Maokai top is really good, it's just that nobody plays him.
Yeah, it'll definitely depend because Wukong's damage is early. It's just a matter of whether or not Maokai will be able to sustain through that early damage and eventually just, reach that first checkpoint item. That way, once he gets his first tank item, Wukong's not as much as a big of a threat because unless Wukong can somehow burst him down instantly with like gank assist, which Morgana can set up a gank with the Q, but they don't have a ton of insta burst. Mal can just survive through the sustain he has, and then make sure that someone can come back him up or just run away with the self peel.
I agree with what somebody said in the chat. Silas, early lane can be scary, I think. I don't think that for Salto on the Corki, we did see this before. I do trust in his ability to scale with the champion. I think for Salto is one of his team's best CSers. Let me make sure. So that way I know I'm speaking facts. Of course. I'm the guy who makes the stats, but
Gotta actually make sure you're reading your own information.
Yeah, I gotta make sure my own information. No, for Germsan was the best, but over consistent amount of games, it is for Salto. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think it's good. Honestly, the Corki Ash matchup is pretty solid because Corki gives you plenty of consistent damage in the AP regard, and with Ash, just like Ash isn't necessarily a carry ADC, at least in your standard. I view her as like carry through team utility. Constant slows are always going to be annoying, especially for something that GCC is running, where you're trying to get into the enemy team. And having a Leona Morgana frontline is something we've played before, me and my friends in Flex Queue, is brutal. So I think the Ash is just absolutely fantastic because it's going to allow Corki to just constantly free hitting while having a Morgana and Leona peeling them.
It also depends on who on the side engages and if they can time those ults
Yeah,
synergy wise as well. Because if you Ash ult somebody and it's Maokai, and then Maokai insta W's the Leona ult, then
yeah, very true. The target I think they should be looking to lock down would be Vi because Vi, just her ult always solos herself out for a little bit. And then if not Vi, then definitely the Silas. Silas is going to be a havoc in the late game, especially if he can get to 16 and just have his ult on like a 3-second cooldown. So taking out Silas early prevents a lot of the AP damage that come through so that any armor stacking you have is going to be super important.
well, Just looking at the pure team comps, what exactly are you out of just team comps alone? Who do you think wins?
Purely team comps, I'd say GCC has the easier to execute one. All you need is for one member of TKK to walk out of, vision or walk into their vision alone, and that person's gone, and then you just have that 5v4 advantage. But if it comes down to execution, I think TKK, if they can set up the vision and set up the choke points properly, they're going to have an easier time of just like poking and backing away, kiting out the enemy team. So it honestly really just depends, I'd say, in the vision game and like how you're looking for those flanks with Vi and Silas.
I do have something to say as well because Vi doesn't get the knockup if Morgana Black Shield is there. So
True.
we are also looking at Fidsick to hit these Morgana Black Shields on those carries early game.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Black Shield will save the 80 carry from being stunned by Set and taking the 1.5k true damage W.
True. You gotta love that, how much that thing hurts. Also, as well, though, at least just looking purely in the bot lane, I do think the Set into Leona, as someone who's played both sides of the matchup pretty extensively, Set, I'd argue, has a pretty hard time into Leona because his cooldowns, are about twice as long as Leona. Like, Leona can go through 2 combos at the time Set goes through 1. So I'm really looking to make sure that if they are fighting the bot lane, Set needs to take his fights carefully, making sure that either Ashe or Leona has either used their combo already or is low on mana. That way he can sustain through the fact that he just has to worry about cooldowns rather than mana delay, or rather mana issues.
Also, the Set, because it was like so early, did force the Wukong pick because I did think that they assumed it was top as well. But I don't know if the Maokai is extensively better. But
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting. I'm assuming, if anything, it probably just comes down to the comfort of Gapik and Mundo and those 2 champions of Maokai versus Set. Because because arguably the Maokai could do a better job in support, at least into Ashe Leona, with his, the sapling toss. You can get constant vision and make sure that Leona can't look to get into the bush to do a little cheeky, not invade, but dive onto you from just out of vision. As well as just constantly poking out Leona is one of the best ways to answer into her. So it'll be interesting for sure.
It should be. I think we are getting into game now. We've already talked your ears off for the 3-minute Rune Prison delay.
So now I was going to say, now the most important thing about any game is the skin compositions. Which team has the matching one?
Phase Rush Set. No Aftershock.
So what I'm imagining he has with Phase Rush Set, generally what you do with that is, Phase Rush and then have the Hex Flash with the... Crap, now I can't remember the name, but the second tier rune that when you use a summoner spell gives you the move speed bonus. Yeah. That way, whenever you're going in, especially into an Ashe, it's not too bad because you can just use the Hex Flash to get that move speed and just charge her down with the Q empowerment. Especially if you can flash like from a bush just past the Leona where they're not expecting it, that's a good way to get onto the Ashe.
Pretty normal sums for everyone else. Caitlyn, of course, the only other person that could have possibly won a different sum. Maybe PTA decides to go with the fleet instead, which nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Dark Harvest on Morgana. That'll be interesting to see if she can get those stacks up early. Always useful when you can.
Nimbus Cloak. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Nimbus Cloak.
And Stormblade does bring up a good point there, actually. It's 4 melee and into an Ashe. So those slows and Runeans are going to be really good.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but I do think if Riot servers would let us, please.
100%
I do think the matchup here to watch is that mid lane. I think it will really decide the tempo of this game of what we're going at. Silas gets ahead and Gorky is super behind, then this game is over in about, a good 28 minutes. But they are able to drag this out to 30 plus, 35 minutes. And Gorky will just go ahead and outperform, I believe.
Yeah. Corki is, of course, that late game scaling threat, which is pretty solid for TKK. They don't really have much else to carry that late game threat, so Corki, I think, was a fantastic final pick. And all 5, it looks like, heading down to bot lane.
We're going to have ourselves a nice little interesting match here. They will find the nice Morgana binding onto Lamowski and an Ash W, some taunts, some emotes, and we're going back to normal.
Oh man, I was hoping for a bigger fight, like something like Earth, but it is pretty hard for either team to really, or rather for a GCC to force that if they're getting out by that.
Nice dodge there by President Mundo, unintentionally. Hopeless is almost in danger. Not though.
I was expecting maybe Gapping with the Flash E, but nothing that looks like yet. Oh, fight over in the red buff now. Looks like for vision of
it is. Wukong does use the E charge. We'll chunk Maokai to about half HP. Eris is going to go in on Corky here. We'll hit the E, but I don't think this is something you keep fighting. That's a flash forward. That's the ignite. First Salto goes down. First blood. It goes to the set. Both summoner spells used.
That was an excellent flash by Set. Perfectly how you wanted to do that and make sure you can get that combo CC. Only downside is that kill goes over to Set, but Set support is still a decent amount to get gold onto, especially when you want this fight to be going on.
Corky won't lose any minions either because of how early that kill was and did take the teleport. Wow. That was good, and now we got another fight going top lane. President Mundo is super low. Does have Corrupting, though.
Yeah, with Corrupting Grasp, you should be able to sustain through a decent amount. He's just got to be careful in these early lanes while he doesn't have any armor stacked up.
Oh, like you were saying before, it looks like it's going to be a stun on Leona, but instant Q response by Hopeless, and now Gapik is taking a lot of damage, sorry. Span away, you can go ahead and turn off your cam. It's okay.
That's a good point, let me do that.
But Hopeless is 2 first, so it is going to be interesting there. The set, of course, is 2 as well, but it's going to be a nice trade so far in this bot lane. 5 CS to 10. Silas is in a CS deficit as well, but Hopeless actually going to hit that E. That's going to be a Ignite coming in. There's the Hex Flash. Will stun the Ash. That's a heal used by Big Lamowski, and it's going to be the heal as well from Germsam. There is the set W. Isn't enough damage. Hopeless goes back in. It's not enough. Gapik will fall to the minions, and it's a 1-for-1 bot lane. All summoner spells have been burned except for Hopeless's Flash.
That was a really good fight. Exactly what I was talking about earlier about how the Set, while he can do some serious damage, as you saw with that W forcing the flash from Ash, he just has a longer time with cooldown. Leona was able to get her E and Q back up before he had anything else. The downside for that, at least for TKK, while they got that kill as well, it goes back on the Set rather than their Caitlyn.
You mean GCC? Okay.
Yes, excuse me.
It's okay. I make the same mistake too. Top lane is going to get shoved in there. It is going to be Peels just going ahead to get deep vision for his Morgana. Will secure the Scuttle Crab for him. Gold now telling an interesting tale. Caitlyn is sitting on 600 gold. Not much you can do with that. Sheen should be completed soon for Corky. As soon as he's able to go back and buy it. I think it's a Sheen tier. Optimal first buy is what he's looking for. We got some movement down there in the river, if you can see the mini-map. We are going to see Leona and Set play a game of trying to match vision. Nice dodge there by Eris using the... what's Silas's E's name? Untrackable Chains?
Oh, I believe so.
Oh, I think it's Abduct. I think it's Abduct and Ascend.
You're right, I think, yeah, there's 2 separate names. Oh, nice little dodge from Sato.
It looks like it is going to be a W max Silas, actually. And that's going to be a nice binding right there onto Vi. Creativity has to back away. Mid laner will make sure he's able to get out safely, escorting the president.
And since we just saw the jungle, I think it is a good point that Morgana got both of the Scuttle Crabs, giving her, definitely camp advantage, as well as just the fact she's got an easier time clearing than Vi, especially in the early game. And there we go again. The Hex
going
Flash.
in again. Not going to get much there. Nimbus Cloak value is not too much. Halo Blades is procced by Germsand, but that's a huge wave. Doesn't want to lose 200 HP this early on. Especially in his set Caitlyn lane. So, Ash was able to reset. Caitlyn was not able to reset, which is interesting. Gonna be the engage on Hopeless right there. Gaffic is taking a lot of damage for free, and the trade is not really worth it. That's a half HP set.
Yeah, just it goes back to that problem of set. If you're not able to consistently land those E's onto both or the stun onto both champions, you're just gonna get poked out because Ash can just kite you down. Advantage being, of course, his passive just gives him that free regen, but it is just, of course, kind of a disadvantage overall, though.
Even though it is a kill lead to the side of GCC, it is not going to be that much of a gold difference. First, Silas ultimate in the game has been stolen. Will steal the Morgana one. Is able going to make it back into lane in time. Does have the teleport there to meet Corki there. Or he decides to hold it if he chooses not to teleport. Bramble completed on top lane, which is a nice, interesting buy. President Mundo should be able to hold off on that, though Wukong doesn't exactly heal a lot. Probably wanted to go Tab Eyes instead. I mean, Wukong's healing is in Divine and Conqueror. So, it's actually been engaged there.
Honestly, I like the Bramble Vest just because even though they don't have the most healing on Wukong early, it just means that while he is going to have that reduced from Conquering, the fact Maokai, is healing himself and then rejecting anything that Peels could be picking up, it's just going to give him that fat health advantage that he needs, especially with the grass procs.
Okay. That's going to be a flash coming in again on Corki. The Obstructa Sten does not work, and Graphic actually goes ahead and right there.
Oh.
There's the Leona instant re-engage. The Peels is going to be coming into this fight. The Ignite is there. Peels will secure the kill, in quotations. And now Hopeless is going to get engaged on by Eris, but Silas will go in, has to use the flash. For Salto jumps forward. The
One more auto
is not there. The big rocket is blocked. Vi immediately goes in, and now here's Peels to do a ton more damage. Will waste the Wukong ultimate. Will force the flash. President Mundo will engage on him. The ultimate does time out. Lamowski now could be in some trouble. Heals is not enough. Will get hit for the Morgana Q binding. And the Pool of Misery will confirm the kill there. Lamowski wastes heal and will still die. Overall, a 1-for-2 across the map.
Excellent. That was a fantastic teleport by Peels, making sure that they could pick up that kill and then force it around. The fact that Ares just escaped with a minimum of health was just so sad for Corki. A single rocket would have killed him, and then Vi with the Q for just to block it was just icing on cake for GCC. And now the Dragon going to be started up. Should be a free one, I'd say.
Should be. Vi is 21 CS down. This Morgana is everywhere around her jungle, full clearing constantly. Able to go ahead and help secure that Lamowski kill. 600 gold advantage right there in the jungle. 400 in the top lane, even though Mundo should be able to get some because of the minions here.
Yeah. And just like we were talking about earlier, the unfortunateness of Gap and getting those kills, as we see, he has the most gold on his team, but unfortunately it's a set that can't really be forcing too much for them.
I agree, set with the second most gold on his team, which is not exactly ideal.
Yeah. If those two kills went on the Lamowski earlier, that would be all the difference in the bottom lane. They'd constantly be able to have the Caitlyn just poke down Leona, and then your engage is a lot safer.
Speaking of that, there's going to be a flash forward right there by Gerbsand. We'll try and escape the Vi's breaths, but here's for Salto to help save his ADC's life. It will cost Hopeless's life, though, in return, just to save his life. Eris is also here as well. Did use the teleport. Will steal the Ash Arrow and then focus on the minion creeps. It looks like they're going to go for the dive. Yeah, I was about to say that. There it is, right there. Eris is immediately going to go in. First, Salto jumps forward. Jumps in. Will get one. And Lamowski barely lives. The tower is not enough. The ultimate from Ash is able to go ahead and secure one, but I don't think it matters in the end. That's going to be Fitzig now in the top lane. Engage President Mundo. You have nowhere to run. The Roots will not be your friend this game. Peels will secure another kill. 600 gold lead for the side of TKK.
That was an excellent play by Fitzig just coming up in the top lane. There was all this action bot. Maokai's pushed up a little bit too far and doesn't have vision of where they'd be. And overall, I'd say, at least in the bot trade, in the initial 1-for-1, definitely advantage for TKK. They traded their support for, I believe it was the... Oh, man, now I can't even remember who died. I think it was Vi. Yeah, Vi, she got cut off by the Corki W, or rather package. But then I think it was I think it was a serious overstay by TKK because it cost them, both their mid and ADC's lives, and then they missed about 2.5 waves or so of XP as it died to just the turret and Leona. Once they realized Silas had the Ash ult, I think they should have just pulled off a little bit earlier.
Shieldbow is coming up soon. Vi is back bot, but Hopeless does have the Leona Solari backing her. Thank you very much. As now Rift Herald will actually be taken there by Fidsick. So this Morgana also there in the top side securing objectives. That's exactly what you want.
Definitely.
I do think that if it is going to come to this so far, we're going to have a double CS difference coming up soon in the jungle. It is 30 right now, though, so it is pretty massive.
This is the advantage of Morgana. She's able to farm it so safely in region. She never has to worry about health problems. As long as she has mana, she can just keep farming. Where do you think the Rift Herald, any lane you would personally like to see it in?
Personally, I would try and gank mid, try to help that right there, but the Gapik is actually going to flash forward. The Leona ult is on point, but that Ashe is as good as dead. But here's Fidsick. The reinforcements have arrived. The cavalry's here, and they will trade 1-for-1, and Fidsick will most likely drop that bot now as they were able to trade away that Vi kill.
They are going to pull back. I think it's a smart call because they don't necessarily see where Silas is, though Fidsick going so far into the jungle might be a bit of an overextension. Yeah,
oh, here we go. That looks like Hopeless is able to help him, and that's going to be a ton of damage. Stun. Hopeless will secure the kill. Set trying to do as much damage as he can. Won't be able to find it. Fidsick does get ignited, but the healing from the W should be able to save his life, and TKK want more and get 2 more.
That was actually really well done. Fidsick perfectly baiting them, and honestly, I think it was a bit of a mistake by Lemowski not roaming up with his team there. They're not going to have any sort of consistent damage with just a set. You need the Caitlyn there to make sure that you can actually burst down those targets before the healing comes in.
Very nice so far. Corki doesn't have a kill yet, which is still unfortunate, but we'll get some tower plating to help make up for it. Vi will go ahead and find the monkey in the jungle. And we'll find Mr. Peels doing her blue buff. We'll go ahead and say, get out of here. It's going to be an engage right there onto President Mundo, onto the Wukong, but not much there. I don't think that is something you would like to take as the Maokai. But
yeah, not much really damage you can do. He's constantly going to have the grass bottles up now from the Sunfire Cape. As well as the first actual mythic completed for Morgana in the jungle. They're making sense considering she's so far ahead in farm. Highest CS in the game currently as well.
And for Salto also, with his mythic as well, shield bow completed. I do think Silas should have their mythic as well.
Just a moment. Looks like probably next back or so. And nice. Second dragon. Gonna bring us to a Infernal Soul eventually.
Should be very interesting. If you like that Corki, you know that Infernal Soul is something you really want. Gapik will go ahead and go in. Is immediately poked down. Shot in the back by the arrows. But that is going to be Ritual drop mid. Vi is actually going to get hit by that binding right there. And Eris steals the Corki ultimate, which is not ideal. Probably couldn't steal the Morgana ultimate. Hopeless is going to go ahead and use the Hex Slash right there onto Big Lemowski as well. That's going to be Leona going in. That is only a solo stun onto the Ashe, but will be drop kicked into tower. Gapik didn't wait.
Flash and heal from Germa burnt though.
Gapik probably could have gotten the kill there. Corki is going to go ahead and get another kill there. No, it will be the Leandris from the Morgana W.
Nice little pickup.
And Lemowski just walking up without his support. The flash is there. He will barely live with about 2 to 3 HP. Oh, that's so sad on the side of TKK.
GCC, yeah. I think it was just, like you said, silly. He walked up without set nearby to protect him and forced the flash. They did have that advantage there, but now it's just blown and, a wave or two gone in the bot for them.
Oh, TKK could have really used that kill. Would have helped solidify the Ash Mythic right now. Gapik is gonna go in by himself. His Eris is already there. We didn't see him, but it looks like he will get that confirmed. One will. He's the Corky.
And there's the Corky ult, pokes the Leona down.
Leona is going to fall, though. Doesn't have the mana available for W. Eris will get 2 confirmed kills. So while we couldn't see that map pressure correctly, sorry about that, it will be 2 kills to the Eris now with the Everfrost completed. Oh, nice binding from out of nowhere on Fitsick, and he will fall. But something of note to interesting, First Salto is able to get the first tower mid. That's about 600 gold in his pockets.
Yeah, they had a solid pickup there. Lost a, member, but nothing too bad. And now it looks like TKK is going to get the second turn in top lane as well.
I think that they are able to. It's going to be some contest by GCC, maybe with Gapik coming up, but don't think it'll be much.
Yeah, spotted on the wards. I know they can't look for anything.
Now, it is about almost a 5,000 gold lead for the side of TKK, which is really good. And Dragon is immediately... Nope, sorry. That was him autoing a control ward. My bad. Hopeless is going to immediately jump onto Lamowski. Lamowski is so ahead with no support anywhere. That's an easy kill for Germstan.
Yeah, bringing it about to 1,200 gold advantage for TKK's ADC, as well as about 1,500 in the top lane.
Oh, here we go. Leona is able to activate W. Silas will get hit by the Ash ultimate. The crystal arrows there. Leona.
Kong has ults.
That was actually Silas ult. My bad. Gapik is going to go ahead and hit. Oh, plus that's a huge set damage right there. Peels, you just helped him get the 4-man ultimate for Soto with the easy jump over. We'll go ahead and get 3 for the side of TKK. Overall, it is a 4-for-1.
You know what the worst part about that entire fight is?
What?
That was a 4v5 or 4v4, or technically because Caitlyn's gone. The entire time Fit6 up in the top lane just punching the Rift Herald.
Oh, you hate to see it.
It's just brutal. Fit6 had an excellent game so far, just being everywhere he needs to pick up like a sly kill or 2 in the alleyway type of deal, and then just going back to farming. Hasn't even really been forced to group with his team other than for Dragons at this point.
The British Morgana is here to stay, apparently. Now, Lamowski in a lot of trouble. There is no Wukong ultimate. You couldn't really outplay that.
Yeah, not much you can really do into Wukong beating you with a stick and an Ash throwing slowing arrows at you. Ooh, Ash might be in a bit of trouble.
We'll get ignited. That is going to be no set ultimate, though, for Salto. Immediately jumps over. Eris is here. We'll get the Wukong ultimate. We'll be able to use it. And Peels is shut down. Hopeless dropping the Solari.
That was a nice...
sun is there, but it won't be enough.
It's a dark day. It was a nice Everfrost active there by Eris that rooted Leona right through the E so that she couldn't actually get close enough or even really follow through in it. Perfect to isolate that kill for Wukong.
So we are in about a 6.5k gold difference right now. It is really huge. 3,000 alone is going to be right there to the jungle. Set taking a lot of damage, is able to use the W to deter any more aggression. Infernal being started. Potential super early soul here. By the way, guys, you can press A. That's going to be nice little damage right there onto Gapik. It's going to be enough. The chains won't be able to find it. That's Vi going in, locked up, stunned up. No chance of life. Eris is going to have to go in here on Fitsick. Fitsick will secure it, and Eris, you walked into the wrong neighborhood, and so did this Maokai. Will drop the roots, but the only roots are being sent are home.
And there's a Rift Herald drop in the mid lane as well. I think it was just this bit of miscommunication. There's no reason for Vi to really walk up into that area. She has the Q to get over the wall, especially if Silas will go in with you at the same time. But going in one at a time like that was just unfortunate.
This game is starting to get ugly.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to lose out definitely the inhib turret, possibly even the inhib itself.
It is the perfect time for you to lose the inhib if they do want to push this. Chem Tank is completed for the set. They will not push the advantage too much.
They could look for teleport flank, but they don't really have any wards up and might not even work out if they tried it. Just going to get all their jungle stolen, putting that Vi behind even further.
Vi is at about 90 CS right now. Fidsick at a cool 171.
Yeah, that is just brutal. 4,000 gold ahead in just the jungle.
And that may be another kill here on the President Mundo. No, they will back off as Vi was also there.
Yeah, I think that's just the right call. Not a lot of mana left. Might as well just recall when you have like 4k gold in your pockets.
Also, stay tuned for the post-game analysis done by Stormblade. Yours truly, as we have another engager onto the set. We'll ult the non-black shielded target of Hopeless, and we'll be able to run out with his life. President Mundo is here.
Throwing a Q or two, but I don't think you should really try and chase this down. No one's nearby enough to back him up.
Eris now split pushing bot lane with the Wukong, who will meet it, take that wave, and go ahead and recall. Now, if you're talking items advantages, you have to mention here, Mirror Mana already completed for this Corki, has the Sorcerer Shoes, with the Shield Bow, is online fully. At this point, Wits End also completed for the Ashe that will help out against Maokai and the Silas. And does complete Berserkers. Caitlyn's still just sitting on a Gale Force boots and a Null.
And an interesting buy from Hopeless as well, going for the Frostfire rather than the standard Locket of Iron Solari. I think it's all right, though, considering he is kind of the only real frontline Wukong a bit, but, he kind of more of going in and out. So making sure Leona can continually CC people isn't the worst idea, especially when your team's already so far ahead and has survivability of their own with the Wits End build on Ashe.
I want to see this Fidsick buy. That is a Giant's Belt and a Blasting Wand, so that could be a Rylai's instantly coming out. The slows would be super annoying. Slow, the most underrated form of CC.
Yeah. Also, it could be a Demonic Embrace, right? Isn't that a build? It's not a
They're the exact same build.
Yeah, so I think, honestly, the Demonic Embrace would probably be better, considering it.
Oh, that's going to be a nice hit there onto Ashe. The Silas hit it downtown, but Germsand is able to flash away. That's another flash coming in. Fidsick! The Vi flashes it, and it will be hitting their Peels immediately going in, but the Fly is still hit by the Ashe arrow. We'll get a shield, but it won't be enough. Peels is still running down Ares. The obstruct ascend won't matter. Peels really wants this kill. Won't find it, though. Chases him to the ends of the earth, and he will go ahead and hit this inhibitor as the rest of TKK starts the Baron. 11k gold lead as we still have a fight down here. It's going to be a nice trade there, though, but Baron is secure. Wukong is able to walk away as well, and this has been a disaster game so far for GCC.
Yeah, just unfortunately got behind in the jungle pretty hard and just took some. They had some advantages a little bit in the bottom lane, but it was the gold was just on the set rather than Caitlyn where you'd want it, and just you can't really do much with it down there. And it's just been excellent play by Fidsick, just making sure he's all around the map at the best of times. As we see with the 5,000 gold advantage, if I can do numbers right.
Yeah, it's around 5,000. Gapik is seen by himself. Won't be any engaged though yet. We are going to be able to get Dragon coming up soon, most likely. Eris will engage on Hopeless, trying to secure this vision. We'll get down that Scuttle Crab, and now Gapik is going to go in by himself. Won't be able to find the CC. Not much there. Ults the Black Shield and Morgana. Eris is going to go ahead and steal the Morgana, but not popping it before Zonius. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is a 4 for nothing. That's the teleport by Peels into the base. I don't think President Mundo will have enough in the tank to fully save this game. 13 in a K, half up. 0 towers for the side of GCC. Peels almost dying completely, but go ahead and will be able to secure the kill there. Fidsick secures that Dragon Infernal Soul, but the Nexus towers are gone. And that is going to be, they will kill the set first, going to pad their KDA. but it will be a confirmed end at 24-50. You have TKK taking game 1 over GCC.
And a perfect game from Fidsig as well. Well done to him. And yeah, just excellent gameplay from TKK the entire way through. Fidsig constantly in the right spot at the right time, making sure to get those early kills. This outfarm the Vi. I think it was just a bit of misplays from GCC constantly in the early game where it wasn't too far gone of a game. They just had their focus split a little bit too much. With that comp they're running, you just want to make sure you're going onto the same target every time rather than trying to split your fire type of deal.
I agree. I also think as well that is heartbreaking for the side of GCC. They do have 2 subs though, so not fighting at full strength, I do think that's a completely different game. If they are full strength, it makes it a lot more interesting. But we will go ahead and get post-game analysis. Here, I'm going to have a special guest for you, Spanaway, so you two can break each other's minds down.
Oh boy.
My mid laner, Rat IRL, Mr. Stormblade. Yeah, that's exactly what I figured. And none of us are able to drag him in, so we may have to go to the podcast room to do it. You can't? You can't join podcasts?
We could. Looks like he. That's fair.
Okay. Well, I wanted to take a quick little break, get some water, actually.
If you need to, no worries. I can just join over there or just kind of talk my head for a bit.
If you don't mind, Chaz.
Yeah, no worries at all.
If you don't mind also going into Mr. Stormblade, because I know that kind of meant a lot to him. Well, you can't move anyway, can you? Okay. So then, let me tell that to him.
Fun and Games Lobby 1? Or just 1?
All right. I'm going to be right back. Get some water. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Hey.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rat, what are your thoughts on after seeing that game?
Mr. Rat. First of all, I think we should touch on this. Obviously, GCC is playing out without their supposed highest ranked players, right? Both Spirit Tracks and Young Trendsetter. I'm not sure where they are tonight, but missing a game like this it's rough because it when you take a loss like this, when you usually have your main players as the ones who are your main carries missing, and you take a loss like this, it's really tough on your mental. But regardless, I actually think I really like the way TKK drafted this game. I thought everything they did was like really well tailored to the first 3 picks from GCC side. And I was really disappointed to see GCC full commit to like 4 melees into Wukong Ashe. That Wukong Ashe Morgana, that just seems like
Yeah, just a bad time. You're not going to be able to really force too much, especially with something like a Black Shield to black him up.
Exactly, yeah. The only other jungler I could imagine that would have been like worse for GCC in that position is like if TKK had picked like Kayn or something, and it's just 4 melees into Kayn, and it's just the game's over because you can never fight him. But otherwise, the CC coming out of TKK's comp, all of it was like inline CC, which makes it really hard for Vi and Set to like engage, like because there was no like actual hard engage.
Yeah, nothing like a Malphite ult that can get multiple targets. Their only real, ability that could even hit multiple people would be the Maokai ult, and that one, you just either line up or run away and can't do much.
Black Shield, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just really tough for GCC because like if they had drafted an Ornn top or a Malphite top, like at least they have an option to get inside. But because they didn't, it's just like how do you ever move in on a Morgana and an Ashe, and then if you do move in on a Morgana Ashe, you're you're standing in front of a Wukong and a Leona.
Yeah.
It's like, and then Corki's just DPSing for free. And how do you get on top of a Corki? Regardless, I think Peels and Fidsick like absolutely smurfed this game. Like they hard carried. I didn't see the damage graphs or anything afterwards, but if I were to guess, I think Fidsick probably did the most with Peels short behind him because they really ran over the top side of the map. I was really happy to see the way they were playing.
Yeah, Fidsick had an absolutely impressive game. I think his entire KDA was, I want to say he had 10 kills and like 13, maybe even 20 assists. It was just beautiful to see.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Beautiful with a capital brutal, yeah.
yeah. I think the gold lead at like 20 minutes was like 9K or something, which is just...
I
don't remember...
5K at 16 minutes or so.
Yeah, that's just... It's absurd gold leads. I don't remember which caster was on the analyst desk at LCS said that like if a gold lead is half of the time, then like the game is... like you can't come back from it, basically. Is what they said, right? Like if it's like 10K at 20,
failure.
Right? It would have to be something like what New York Mutants did in the GCA series last week. But we don't need to talk about that. I was happy with the builds for the most part. I think one thing that I don't like seeing, especially on like top laners, is biscuits and corrupting pot. I think it's really overrated for top laners. I think I'd much rather see what's it called? Precision secondary with presence of mind or triumph and legend tenacity. I think that it's such an underrated rune setup. That's what I run on all my top laners.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think not legend tenacity, but the presence of mind rune is seriously strong just because, especially something like a Maokai where you can constantly proc it with either the Q or the E, you're just going to be gaining that mana back. Though I would still say, like, if you do it, going the corrupting potion into Wukong as Maokai isn't too bad because you're just going to be losing those early trades regardless until you can get to that first like major item where you're just going to be able to immune that damage. But overall, I see what you're saying of having just that constant mana. The biscuits doesn't do as much in the late game compared to the presence of mind would.
Yeah, and one more thing, like last season, or I guess at the beginning of this season, they removed a bunch of tank items that had stacking mana on them, right? Like Righteous Glory, for example.
And
it's like a core item.
Sports Gauntlets, yeah.
Right, those were like core items on Maokai, right? The great items. Loved those items. They're core. And the removal of those means that there's a lot of tanks top that like struggle with mana. And I think Maokai is one of them. Luckily, at the beginning of the season, or the next season, preseason, they're going to release a tier tank item.
Oh, I can tell you, I am so excited for that. I used to, besides support, as you can see if you ever look at my KD, I'm mostly a tank player, and I love to play tanks in the top lane. But this season just gutted them. Those, like you said, the mana item removal just hurts their trading patterns so hard.
Right, because a lot of those types of tanks were actually early like lane bullies, right?
Yeah, as long as they had the mana, they
high
can
base
just keep
damages.
Yeah,
exactly, and the removal of that means that like the options that you have are so much more limited, and that's why bruisers kind of just surged in. All right.
Yeah, no.
Well, anyways, unless Spirit Tracks or Young Trendsetter come back, I actually think TKK can 3-0 this series with the way they were playing.
It is interesting. It looks like that they have Gapping now over in the jungle position and creativity in the sub, or rather support lane position. Excuse me. So I'm excited to see how that maybe makes a change, possibly putting them in a little bit more of a competitive state. But yeah, we'll be heading over now to Game 2. Thank you so much, Storm, for coming in for the post-game analysis.
Yeah, of course. See you around.
See ya. Perfect. And we're back, now with our beautiful faces to join the voice.
Yes, we are. Sorry about that.
Oh, welcome back.
All right, I believe we are getting ready for Game 2.
Yes. Yes, and I mentioned it just a moment ago. I don't know if you heard or saw, but we now have Gapik in the jungle position and creativity in the support lane, or support position. Not
All right, we're already getting into draft right now. TKK starting it with an instant ban of Katarina. It does look like the respect bans are still going through the exact same ones as before. Fiddlesticks now banned away on the side of GCC. Diana banned on the side away at TKK. We'll also respect ban the Morgana.
smart move.
And Kiana still banned away. So 3 mid bans. Again, and the Wukong banned away. As GCC bans for the series, it seems TKK will insta-lock the Nocturne.
Nocturne, excellent, interesting first pick. At least in my opinion, Nocturne can be good, but you kind of need to build the comp pretty strong around him. Make sure that he has someone else to back him up in the engage, unless you're super far ahead. So, interesting to see how they continue to draft around that.
Instant Morgana, or not Morgana, Misfortune.
Solid pick as well. We see MF constantly.
MF, I think, is the second highest prio champion in this league behind LeBlanc. Kha'Zix is actually the response to Nocturne, which, while good, this Kha'Zix is on a timer.
Yeah. Because you can definitely fight Nocturne in the early game, before Nocturne can really get to that strength, and this isolated Nocturne's an easy target. But Leona into Kha'Zix is good. CC, hurts assassins any time of the week. Leona Caitlyn.
Okay, so nice little confidence right there by the bot lane. Germ Sand says, I saw Lebowski pick Caitlyn. Let me go ahead and pick it myself.
Solid pick, because, this Caitlyn's range advantage is always going to be hurtful. The only other champion really like they had last time is the Ashe, just able to kind of match it. So I'm interested to see how they respond, whether they grab the Ashe themselves in reverse or try something new. Or never mind, they have the MF. I'm blind. So Nami.
MF Nami. Huh. Okay.
It's not bad necessarily, because if you can get something to lock them up for Nami's wave to come in, followed by the MF ult, that's a lot of damage coming through.
I agree, but
you definitely
Nami is a very poor pick into Nocturne Leona Caitlyn.
Yeah. She's definitely gonna get poked and be hurt.
That's 4 mid bans so far. 5
Make it
mid
5.
bans so far. 6 mid bans. TKK full just banning out Eris. Not even Stormblade got this many bans when we had him in the first season.
That's really interesting.
Wow. Okay. Now, what is GCC's response? Because are you going to give counterpick here to your mid laner, or are you going to give counterpick to your top laner?
And looks like counterpick
to mid. Okay.
I think the Ornn's really solid here. He's someone that, isn't the easiest to burst down. And it's just kind of what I was talking about earlier. You need something to really start the fights for them, and Nami ults or Bubble's not going to do it enough. Ornn's able to do that. Plus, you can just make sure you're all grouped up behind Ornn when anytime Nocturne could be looking for an ult. Camille. Hovered and locked. Solid answer into that. Ooh, and TF. That's perfect. That's exactly what I was talking about. Someone to follow up on the Nocturne ult. Make sure that you can go around as a little bit of a hit squad, finding isolated targets.
Yo, what is this? Why me? Eris is just completely target banned.
That is.
Hey, so final pick here. What exactly do you pick here with the 6 bans mid? I think.
Ooh. Vladimir. I don't even know. I haven't seen a Vladimir in a while. I think that overall, though, just looking at it, that's not a bad answer. Nocturne, if he tries to gank mid lane, you just puddle away. He's a good answer into Leona, can, dodge that CC, as well as the flash a gold card from Twisted Fate if you can be fast enough with it.
Okay. I don't think this is a game where MF and Nami are going to be a factor.
No, probably not.
I think if you are the bot lane for the side of GCC, you going even is winning.
Yeah, definitely. It's a brutal lane. Nami's okay into Leona, nothing super strong because she can just constantly be healing and poking slightly. But the second you get hit by a stray E, you're just over.
Yeah.
And
Leona instant engages on you, stuns you. That's
yeah,
an
you're just
instant
gone.
Caitlyn trap into a W. Instant Caitlyn trap into a Q is what I meant, into the Piltover Peacemaker. That's brutal.
It'll honestly really come up to Kha'Zix, I think, whether or not Gapik's able to close the distance and get an early lead. If he can do that, especially either in the bot or mid lane, that can give them the advantage because GCC, for the most part, with Ornn and Vladimir, they're late game champions. MF isn't super late game, but when you have an Ornn boosting her item as well, she can scale pretty all right. And Nami just gets stronger as well, giving out mood speed constantly in team fights. But there's just a lot of CC you're going to have to try and deal with. Every single member having some form of hard CC minus Nocturne, but he has a fear in, turning the lights off is CC in itself.
I do think TKK have the better comp here.
Definitely. It's
The
much
Camille
easier to execute.
especially. Camille is the most broken top laner right now. It's
having a Cho'Gath ult for your Q is
like
a little strong?
No, like 70,000 games this patch, and I had a almost 54% win rate.
Oh, damn.
Camille is genuinely one of the most broken champions in the game right now. With Grasp and Sunder, there's no better top laner.
With the the healing item I'm blanking on. Gore Drinker being nerfed, and then this Conqueror, or not Conqueror, but the Ravenous Hunter rune being nerfed as well. There's a lot less healing in the game. That's making Camille even stronger because she doesn't have to rely on that. Honestly, the way I see this going is if they either you try and just keep an even landing state throughout the entire game and maybe pick up a dragon or two so that way TKK can't force an early soul again. If you can at least contest one or two dragons, slow the game down until Ornn and Vladimir can hit level 11, you're going to be in a lot better state for GCC for GCC to win this game. It's just a matter of actually getting to that stage safely.
All right. Sorry about that.
Now into the 3 minutes of chatting.
I'm sorry about that. My girlfriend is trying to. My girlfriend was like, I made a plan already, but I decided to come cast, and she's like, that's okay. I'll just play a game from your Steam library.
Fair enough. What game's she playing? Well, we have a little bit of time to kill.
Storm, come on. The game I was going to play, it was a horror game where you are blind.
Ooh.
And everything is based on sound.
That's interesting sounding. That's a good time for the Halloween season.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Now, personally, I think this is a TKK. I don't think.
Yeah, the comp just alone looks so much stronger.
Real settled, buddy. Storm, come on.
I mean, I'm obviously going to give it to TKK again because they have Leona, and she's obviously the best champion in the game. But besides that point,
of course,
it's just their comp is pretty self-explanatory. Find CC and fight, win. Versus GCC, they have to play a lot more carefully, especially considering how we saw TKK just snowball the game last time around. But
I do think that if TKK does get ahead, like they did game one, it will be a rollover.
Yeah, it's just there's not much misfortune or Nami can really do if they get behind or don't. Essentially, if they don't get a significant advantage, they're just in for a terrible game.
Sorry about that. I'm having an earthquake. It's a small little Florida earthquake, but it's not much. Sorry about that. So I heard something shaking. I was like, what's shaking?
Wait, actually you had an earthquake?
Yeah,
Be careful. Oh, whoa.
yeah, genuinely. It's like it's not strong. Florida does get a lot of weak earthquakes.
I didn't know that. That's actually interesting.
Yeah, it's because of our positioning on the tectonic plates. Still, I think I'll be okay. I don't think I'll have to pull a sound wave. There will be no tornado warning,
No,
thankfully. Duck and cover. Yeah, I mean, my bed, I can't fit under it, so I'm kind of screwed there.
just hide under your desk, like what they did with bombs and stuff.
Yeah, bomb shelters, but gonna go ahead and get right into game now that the earthquake has really passed. So,
Here we go.
personally, this bot lane has to not die, in my eyes, for GCC to have a shot.
And nice. Matching Pulse Fire skins, giving the advantage over to them.
Oh, that's true. Pulse Fire Twisted Fate, Pulse Fire Caitlyn. Let's
Nothing
go.
too unstandard in runes and summoner spells. Everything pretty self-explanatory.
Airy for the side of Nami. Well,
Yeah.
Electrocute is her best, but I understand why.
Yeah, Electrocute I seem generally, or rather it seems generally goes with that Lucian early game aggressive plays.
Yeah, it's just that there's no Lucian, you know.
Yeah, no reason
Especially
to
since
force
Lucian wasn't banned as well. You first picked the Misfortune. I think it's just a draft mistake there to draft that Nami.
it. Yeah. You should have tried to find a more aggressive support, something that can actually really make her job easy. MF wants a champion in front of her, not really to the side or behind.
It's going to be interesting. I do think that who won game one? That would be TKK. All right. So, as we are loading in, getting ready right now, the typical thing will happen where both casters will turn off their cameras because I like to, enjoy myself, drink to my heart's content on my water, sit back and watch good League of Legends.
And there we go. Looks like in-game.
All right.
And now I'm excited. Are we going to see that early game scuffle like we saw last time around?
Hopefully. That was nice and entertaining. But I don't think anything different here will be changing.
Yeah.
Pretty normal items all around. Corrupting for the Twisted Fate. That longsword complete for MF pretty much details. Most likely it is going to be a lethality game from her.
And it looks like, yeah, 5-man stack up again by GCC.
Hopeless is there,
Possibly
taunting. Knowing that they're on the camera, Mom.
If they walk up, that possibly could be a kill, just if Nami starts that bubble. But
Sorry about that. My cat is pouncing on top of me because he wants attention.
looks like Fidsick might. Maybe not. Thought he might be walking in, possibly trying to start the Raptors or red buff. Nocturne, not too bad at that with the fear. But no, looks like just going for the ward.
Alright, as everyone dissipates from the side of GCC, not able to find much there. But it could be a really good game for Gapic.
Yeah, a lot of easy-ish targets to isolate, or rather find out. Nocturne, he can probably fight one-on-one pretty simply, and if ever TF is a little bit too far up and, gold card is down, that's just a free kill for a Nocturne. It really I'm feeling the game's kind of on Gapic's shoulder to make sure that they can get an advantage for GCC, otherwise it's just going to be a hard-fought 40-minute game of trying to scale through a very aggressive TKK lineup.
Now, it really is also going to be dependent on the Ornn, because Ornn is deceptive with the amount of damage he does.
Yeah.
And I've solo killed a ton of people with the Ornn. Nice bubble there onto Germsand. able to get that. Not much will be followed up, though. There was no MFE to make sure that was a guaranteed comet hit as well.
Just
Yep, sorry about that. My mic cut out. I apologize.
and oh,
Now it's going to be a nice engage right on there. Hopeless is going to be taking huge damage. Gapik is already here. He really just 3-camped and decided, I'm going to be bot, but is able to get stopped in their tracks by a perfect Caitlyn W.
excellently done with that Caitlyn W. I think, honestly, a little bit too aggressive, though, from the side of TKK. There's no reason to really try and force that hard, especially with no idea of where the enemy jungler is. Like, sure, you might suspect that, you know, they're up in the top side, but without vision, it's a little bit risky, especially when you're going unsure. And now we see Nocturne possibly looking for the invade.
They do know that he 3-camped bot side, so we'll be able to meet him right there. That's going to be a nice little engage. Gapik does have the isolation, but it is the Nocturne. Camille is here first. We'll go ahead and find the hookshot. Flash is not there. And now this is potentially very dangerous for the Nocturne Camille. They are in a tight spot. Vladimir is going to go ahead and trade with Twisted Fate. Not be able to get the Qs off. Warren is right there, but you walk straight into a Vladimir. The flame breath is gonna not be enough. The pool from Vladimir will confirm it. Camille barely not able to get the kill on Gapik. And now this is an Ornn knockup away, and it will be a second kill onto this Vladimir.
That is just brutal. There was a good spell shield by Fitzig, dodging the flash E from Ornn onto the red wall, but just wasn't enough, unfortunately. And now Vladimir with 2 kills. That's kind of the exact opposite of what he wanted to have happen. If Vladimir is able to get that early advantage, he's able to sustain long enough until the rest of his team can reach that late game period.
Still, this is disaster for TKK early game, and they do have, in my eyes, still the better comp. So you can afford to take these quick little mishaps, but you need to edge these out quickly because GCC will punish them harder and harder.
Yeah, definitely. Vlad's just one of those champions that's hard to punish as it is, so him getting both of those kills is not what you're looking for.
True, you do need that Oblivion Orb early. Oh, Blizzard's really going to flash forward. We'll lock up Misfortune. No hope. Nami walked back in trying to save her, but it will fall as they are 4 bot as the answer.
There's just what you're talking about. They need to bring it back in and perfectly play by them. And now it looks like possibly going for the dragon.
I do think if you're Nami there, you already flashed. You try your best to get out of there. An Infernal Dragon, the first of the game, will be going to the side of TKK. Oh boy.
It's going to be a slow take, but yeah, it looks like uncontested overall. And looks like it's probably going to be the Eclipse, possibly build from MF. And here we have, that's Infernal. No significant gold advantage in lane yet that I'm spotting. Well, it's about 400 or so in the ADC for Germ, but that's about it.
Now, this Vladimir is ahead.
Interesting. Peels, I just noticed, has the Cole. I'm not too familiar with top matchups, but it seems unique from my experience, but not too bad. Camille does scale pretty well because she's good in all stages of the game right now.
I don't know about the Cole either. I do think you probably would have saved it for the Sheen. And then just possibly teleported back for it, but...
Yeah, what I'm assuming is she probably picked up, we saw that early game scuffle. She just didn't have the gold for anything else other than maybe a Ruby Crystal, so it's buying the gold as well.
Does have the Sheen. My bad.
Oh, yeah, just picked it up now.
Exactly, it's just how I was saying. Still does have the teleport as well. So, instant back for the Sheen. Hopeless is in this bush. They have an idea he must be there.
Yeah. Nami walking up.
This is a
close.
Nami.
She's got to be there.
Ooh, the Hex Slash is there. I feel like that was just an E by Hopeless right there onto that Nami, and she was as good as Sashimi.
Yeah, that was interesting not to pull back. You just, even if you're not looking for the suit. Oh,
Oh, that's going to be a nice little twisted fate. Gank right there. Nami, you don't have a shot.
there's the
That
heal
will be
burns
a
as well.
confirmed kill. Gapik is seen as well becoming the Twisted Fate ultimate. Fitsick holding down the mid lane, making sure that his team won't lose too much from the Twilight Fort from Twisted Fate. Hopeless is going to go ahead and not go for it again. Misfortune doesn't have heal, but does have the flash. Kha'Zix is here. Don't expect Kha'Zix to be there, but he is backing. No, cancels his back again. I think he's trying to find a forceful play here, but now we'll walk onto a ward.
Yeah,
And
that just
that's
sucks.
immediately spotted out, and now Kha'Zix has wasted a good minute in just sitting in the river. You know, he's enjoying a nice bath.
Though, I mean, I can't blame him too much. The only camps that just spawn really were his top wave. You might as well try and look for some cheese.
I agree. It is a nice little XP advantage there. Eris will pool early, but still get the nice little trade onto her first Salto. Won't be able to drop that gold card, so
Yep.
basically no trade back.
Phase rush making sure he's out in time. And
That's going to be a
looks like
nice little
repeat.
gauge. Okay. The forward Hex Slash there. And Nami walks straight up into a Leona, is stunned. There's no Leona Zenith Blade, though, to confirm that. Whoa.
Ooh, good
Leona
bubble.
walks up and cues the minion. Don't think that was intentional.
Definitely not. And now trade up a top lane. Nothing too extravagant, but the Kha'Zix is coming in. If Gapik can find a workaround, Peels could be in trouble, but it looks like
This
they might have
is what I
spotted him.
meant by orange damage is deceptive, because he E's the same place that Camille's E'ing, and Camille's instantly knocked up and knocked out of the hook shot.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the fact he has a Bramble Vest now just hurts Camille. The shield's not going to be enough to really burn through
Oh,
that. But
and that was actually walk forward. This is textbook. Going to be a nice execution there. They will not push forward. Germsand has the flash heal available. I feel like E Auto may have confirmed it. Will not get the Q onto him, but Tsunami, if they would like to play safer, will hit the bubble. Walks up, is going to eat the headshot, but not much else. Ooh, nice shove there by Peels to actually cancel the Orn E.
and looks like possibly Nocturne's on the Rift Herald, or they were just possibly.
Vladimir is there.
There we go. Yeah, 4 members of GCC headed into the bot lane right now. Not a bad call considering Dragon starting. If you can get like a random pick off right before it, that'd be good in securing yourself the Dragon.
Rift Herald is also secured by Fidsec, who loves taking these objectives.
Yeah.
Nice little, you know, change in his pocket, of course. We just hit 10 minutes into the game. So far, Eris is the only person on this team with kills right now on the Vladimir. Is about 1.8k gold difference total. Twisted Fate is looking to use the ultimate again. Most likely will ult bot side again. It is a 35 CS difference right there in the bot lane. 1.5k at
Ooh,
10 minutes.
Good old BF Sword gold difference. Now, not only that, TF's ult could be joined up with the Nocturne one as well, since Nocturne's finally at level 7 now, but has hit, that 6.
Eris may engage on for Salto here. We'll get the nice trade in phase rush, fully HP healed Vladimir.
Alright, so now let's see if you really think GCC should be looking for this Dragon. You know that TF has to back. If
Oh,
timing teleport,
nice little job there by Peels using his own Orn Q against him. Still, Everfrost is completed on Twisted Fate. That is the first mythic of the game completed. As the little MasterCard thing will appear. Sorry, I can't say that. Jazz doesn't want any problems. But just imagine, the little MasterCard.
looks like Vision.
They will go ahead and use the TF Ultimate as utility to see where the site of GCC is, see where they can push up, where they can't push up. Well used.
Yeah, excellently used. The bright side too being that anytime you do that...
Oh, Leona does go in. We'll walk back into the bubble now. W is still active. That's a stun right there. Oh my god.
Was that a headshot into the queue there for that final burst?
I think there was a headshot into the Piltover Peacemaker.
Yeah. And now 2
That
drags up.
fish is sushi right now.
And yeah, I think they should be looking to the bot lane possibly for the Rift. But it looks like they might bring it actually up to mid lane.
It's like we'll be going ahead and doing that. The CS difference is getting a bit out of hand this game. 105 for Germ Sand and 48 on the MF. But for Salto is getting engaged on. That's going to be the Nocturne ultimate used right there. Engage on Vladimir. Gapik will be able to help confirm that kill, but it'll be a 1-for-1.
That's pretty nice use because, yeah, Elreese came back to lane just with that mythic and used it practically instantly. So well done there in that regard.
It is just an axe for the side of Nocturne, but can't really do much there. Tower plate's being taken here in the bot lane. Not much you can really do.
Yeah,
Gonna be a nice damage right there into Lamowski. Just eating the full Caitlyn combo.
Caitlyn's are, you know, one of the best turret takers in the game. Just able to stay out of your range and constantly poke them down. The alts are now up for both bot lanes as well, so it's about to get even more hectic. Kha'Zix possibly looking for something, but the triangle of vision there on TKK is just perfect. You have one in the pit to make sure you can't, you know, like jump the wall behind you and end up in Tribush or somewhere near Krugs. You have the actual one in Tribush itself and then one in River. It's practically...
Speaking of the Tribush,
yeah,
they will find Kha'Zix right there.
Yeah, that's just beautiful vision placement. There's no way Kha'Zix can gank your lane. Pretty much it's the only place you can really be looking forward to at this point.
Nice little trade there going up top. Heals. Doesn't have the Divine yet. Is not one-shotting yet.
Yeah, that looks like Rift Herald. That's kind of unfortunate. Rift Herald never really dropped in time. It's not going to reach a turret before 14, so that's a decent amount of gold going away. But that probably will mean first turret taking a bot lane just based on how low it is.
Very true. Twisted Fate does have Destiny as well.
Yeah. Nocturne ults, I think, is back
They're
up.
actually an instant engage right there onto the Nami. There's no Caitlyn W underneath there. That will be the Nocturne instant engage. Will it be a confirmed kill? No. Vidzik is able to flash away. Germsand walks up into tower. Will heal. Gapik is there. Too much damage. That is one confirmed kill. Now Gapik, your reinforcements have been cut off. First Salto is behind. Lamowski will fall. A 3-for-1 with first tower. Going inside of TKK, 5,000 gold lead at 14.5 minutes.
He's out of vintage and could possibly pick up a kill here. Notice pretty alone.
Hopeless will now find that Vladimir, but his W and Aftershock. There's the Vladimir ultimate to try and confirm.
Ooh, a perfect puddle to dodge the snare. Well done there by Eris to make sure he can pick up something for his team.
And a mythic completed for the side of Kha'Zix, but no Stridebreaker yet on the side of Nocturne. Interesting.
And it looks like, yeah, 3,000 gold advantage in the bot lane. That's just brutal. That's where half, you know, the majority of TKK's gold advantage is purely on that Caitlyn, where it's exactly where you want it to be.
Not much. Pretty equal now gold, even though the Vladimir is 4-0 and about 30 CS up, but the 5 assists really help out.
Yeah, that plus, of course, the Twisted Fate loaded dice passive, probably around maybe 100, 200 gold right now. Keeping it a little bit more even. And yeah, that's exactly the play you want to see here. Germsand and Hopeless roam up to the mid lane to try and make sure that Vladimir can't continue to just kind of get that farm advantage. And
there's going to be a nice little gauge right there. Keels will be able to narrowly miss the hook shot, but it will be a confirmed kill. Fitzik will kill President Mundo. And what has been a relatively quiet top, looks like Germsand is immediately going to get engaged on. Gale forces away. Perfect snare is right there. Gapik will go ahead and live with his life.
Perfectly dodging that. You know, by any means, that should be a dead Caitlyn, but he
is dead. I don't think you're able to escape that. No, the flash is even wasted.
Ooh. Nice little ping up there by GCC getting something, but it looks like they might be losing the Rift Herald in the meantime.
It is the Eris show this game is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right now.
He's definitely the strongest member. definitely who Orange should upgrade first, or rather, second. Just considering that first item always goes to Orange. But when I'm really
Orn could just not buy a mythic and upgrade his teammate.
could he actually not do it one early if he doesn't own a mythic?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's gonna be the auto. Is it gonna be enough? Yes,
Ooh,
it
the fadeaway.
is.
nice little looking for pink there by TF and Leona. But they could be a bit out. Vladimir is on the flank.
Capic is gonna go ahead and engage there, but Kha'Zix, your team is almost there. You won't have it yet. Peels is gonna go ahead and go and confirm
1,000
that
shutdown.
kill. But 1,000 gold to this Vladimir. Creativity is also done as well. Orn will fall across the map 4-for-1, and this Mountain Dragon will go ahead and go to TKK. Possible 23-minute soul. Wow.
Just brutal. And did we miss it? Did someone pick up the Rift Herald and use it? The second one. Okay. Yeah, looks like, yeah, the base of the minimap, was picked up, dropped on the mid lanes. Ooh. There's something
Eris has to be the carry this game.
here. Definitely.
This Vladimir is the resource carry. That is all of your kills. All of your eggs are into one basket. No healing reduction except only on the Caitlyn right now. That should be changing soon. Surprised Twisted Fate doesn't have it either.
Yeah, it's a little odd because he could have picked it up, but I guess going for that gold card extra range is reasonable. A bit of an issue on creativity as well.
Eris is going to go ahead and get engaged onto Germ Sand, but Rocket Belt is there, won't do much.
Yeah, this is like, going back to farm. But I mean, yeah, just as I was saying a second ago, creativity still has yet to pick up the sweeping lens. I'm assuming it's either he just hasn't noticed, but he's been sitting on that upgraded support item for about 8 minutes now, so definitely.
So has Hopeless as well, so to be fair.
Oh, yeah, good point. Neither of them really.
No support item has the sweeping yet, but President Mundo is going to get engaged on by Peels here. Does have the Divine Sunderer. Will miss the outer Q, but Camille is just doing Camille things, and yep, that is a dead Orn.
Running you down.
And that is going to be an instant Twisted Fate ulti right there.
Ooh,
that's a
dead
nice
MF.
combo. Misfortune, your free trial of life is over. Nami walking up, trying to protect it. Fitzik flashes forward, only 140 gold for that kill. But still, this is getting out of hand.
Yeah, this is a little unfortunate situation of this snowballing. I think it was a little bit of a misplay by Fitzik flashing for that kill. It looked like he definitely could have caught her with the little puddle trail type of deal, but, go for the kill, might as well. You're already this far ahead, it's not going to be punished too likely.
Orn is going to teleport here. Here's Gapik. This could be a potential kill onto Camille. That's going to be the nice little engage CC combo. Peels really wants that tower. No!
Gonna live with 3 HP. Oh, that's so sad.
That is depressing. Peels.
Yeah, 83
83 HP on that tower.
Couple of minion autos would have finished it. Oh, that's depressing.
Now for Soltos here, just to make sure that Orn really can't do much.
Orn?
Gapik is there as well.
Ooh, Gapik
49 damage crits by this Twisted Fate. Gapik is in a really bad spot. It's possible that he could insta-fight this Caitlyn, but that's going to be the instant teleport as well. It will instantly go ahead onto the Caitlyn. Caitlyn Gale forces towards the Kha'Zix. That's not what you want to happen. Eris is right there. There is the Nocturne ultimate. Will instantly go ahead and skip over the easy kill.
Oh,
Kha'Zix.
just before he could have got the Q. That is critical, but...
Nocturne skipping over the Kha'Zix will get that confirmed gold to him. That's 1,000 gold to his name.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's just all the advantage that Eris really had now just gone.
And now we have reached almost an 8,000 gold deficit at 21 minutes.
Yeah.
As you see here in the gold differences, the only people that are within striking distance is jungle and mid. Everything else is over 2,000.
And it looks like, yeah, we got about 75 seconds until the Soul Dragon spawns, so kind of make or break here for GCC.
Eris did fall. Does have the Cosmic Drive second. No Death Cap. So no huge spike there on the Vladimir. I think that's a mistake. I think this Vladimir is already super ahead. And yet doesn't have the Death Cap to help capitalize.
True, I can see why he would go for the more defensive build, considering this Nocturne is and Caitlyn, are very strong and pretty much the biggest threat to him. He can just dodge most of TF's damage. But it just seems GCC is not even trying to contest the soul. They're just trying to stay farming. Now Ornn's going to die for it.
Oh, Ornn is going ahead and going fall forward. Eris is getting locked up by that Leona. Forces Eris to slash. Peels does not have the Hextech ultimatum, but is instantly stunned. Rooted as well. Not able getting that empowered Q off, but will heal for 647. Soul coming up in 10 seconds. This is Soul Point. And this needs a miracle for GCC. They need a steal of a lifetime. There's no Vladimir ultimate though, so that big team fight damage boost is not there. Ornn is only up in 5 seconds, doesn't even have the teleport. This is it. Are you ready, Span Away?
Kaz starting to jump down to half health, but he isn't, potential jump.
That's going to be there right there. The
flash.
The huge Emma Volti is right there up to Nocturne as well. Stunned up Ares, but it looks like this is the team fight perfection. Vinstic is just meleeing big Lamowski. Lamowski flashes into the Camille.
Ornn's finally here, and Eris is probably going to get two.
Ornn is there. Hopeless is knocked up by the bubble extra. Double kill to this Vladimir. 9-1. GCC still have some hope left in the game.
That was an excellent steal by Gavik. The problem is there was a bit of a split there. Eris kind of chased off the Caitlyn and the TF up into the river, leaving his ADC to die. I think that was just unfortunate. If they stuck together, they might have actually been able to force the fight over to Baron if they were able to keep MF up. But, bought 5 more minutes of time to try and scale with that. Ornn finally about to hit level 13.
Lots of shutdowns as well going to the side of GCC. It is still a huge gold lead, but...
Went from 9k to 7k, but hey, a couple more fights like that and you can bring it on back.
Very true. Eris on this Vladimir, showing that the Cosmic Drive probably... I still don't agree is the better choice, especially now that he's going to go Sonya, so that's a 4th item Rabadon's power spike. That's going to be the
Nocturnal.
instant engage. Nocturnal Spell Shield is there. Won't matter though. Instant TF is also there as well. That's 2 kills for free. That's going to be the engage as well on Eris, but I don't think that's the right move. Leona does lose her ultimate. Eris, huge damage onto the Caitlyn, was able to heal most of it back up. Storm Razor completed on Caitlyn.
Nice. And that's exactly what we were kind of talking about in draft. That TF pick was crucial there because Nocturne, while he was able to get the ult onto the two of them, was honestly isolated and a little bit getting kind of low. If TF wasn't there to ult in and gold card, Nocturne could have lost his life for that play and nothing really gained for them. So well done by Fursada to make sure he can back up his jungler and keep the game in motion.
And I feel at this point, if you are the bot lane for GCC, you are trying your best to keep your mental in state, but you are 1-14 as a combined.
Yeah, just a brutal game to be trying to play that type of bot lane.
Very brutal. I commend them for staying in it the best that they can. Eris is instantly going to engage right on there onto Germsand. The heal is not going. The heal will save him. There's the Leona ultimate again. There is no Vladimir pool to save you that time. Vinstic will fall to flash forward for Salto. Germsand with the confirmed kill, and that's an instant Baron by TKK. That feels really bad if you're Vladimir. You are not able to get the assassination onto Caitlyn. You do force as well, which is good. Gapik will go ahead and start poking out Leona. Leona is in a really bad spot here, but here's Peels. Gapik may be in the worst spot possible. Will not get the confirmed kill on the Leona, though. Obelisk just walks back into him. That's 2 more kills. Another stun there. Peels will secure it with the Hextech ultimatum. An ace for for the side of TKK. 5 for 1 across that entire fight as well. MF farming bot lane, instant teleport back by First Salta to go ahead and confirm this Baron. This game is blowing up in the eyes of GCC, down 12K. 12.5K, sorry.
Now with Baron picked up, you have just enough time to run over to the Dragons, less than a minute till it spawns. Looking like that could be Soul unless, Gapic's able to get another Smite of Dreams. I think that was just an excellent TP by Peels. All things considered, TKK was getting kind of low there, even without the Vladimir. If Vladimir's there, that fight goes the other way possibly. But Peels with the flank was able to make sure that their damage was split and that GCC can unlock any one member down.
Eris is going to go ahead and try again, this time using the flash. Not able to get it this time either. Is able to drop the Zonias, but that's really bad. The MF ulti actually does help the disengage there, so...
Yeah, not too shabby. Only, problem is now he's down Zonias and Flash, but at least he's able to get out with his life this time around. And
they
gold
will
card
go
on
ahead and
MF.
see Lamowski right there. Everfrost as well. Not enough damage yet. Eris is back in this fight. This is going to be a constant re-engage. Hextech ultimatums right there. The Ord is trying to hit the Ord. Horn won't matter. Eris, this is your fight. Gabic is there in the bot. That's going to be another engage right there to the Nami. She will fall. Gabic not able to get an assassination. The gold card will go through the wall. It won't matter. And he will fall to the Twisted Fate Destiny. That will be Unstoppable Soul confirmed for the side of TKK. 15,000 gold lead is coming up. And this is the time you start breaking the base. That's going to be instant engage onto Eris. Eris already dropping the pool. That's super low for the Vladimir. He will fall from the Divine Sunderer. Camille, not broken by the way, says Riot Games. And that will be that mid lane inhibitor turret going down. Peel's going in again, feeling himself. Gonna go ahead and focus down that Ord. He can't move. There'll be another kill. Nice little hook shot right there to Misfortune. There's the Darkness Paranoia triple kill for Germsand.
We see Quadra. No!
For Finsick. And it is death, desolation, decimation, defamation all across the base of GCC. And this is an easy TKK 25 kills up, 18,000 gold, and will take the series.
Excellent game by TKK. Just had constant advantages in the one lane, that they were kind of losing. TF just said, screw it, I don't need to fight Vladimir, I can just join my Nocturne on the other side of the map. Excellently played by them, just realizing that Vladimir's the only real threat. If we ignore him, he can't hurt us.
Oh, go ahead and turn on our cameras.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All right, we are hopefully gonna go ahead and go to the post game. Bye. All right, but I mean, wow, that was all right. So it looks like Spanaway will go ahead and take out there with Stormblade. I will be able to join him as well as we go ahead and move on for the post game analysis with Mr. Red IRL. Please. Hello there, Storm.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Not too bad. We watched some pretty good League of Legends.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting, and it all started in the draft phase. 6 bans to mid, you said, I think? I mean, obviously
Yes.
you can't 6 ban because there's only 5 bans, but essentially taking 6 mid champs off like instantly is a pretty big deal, and he just pulls out the Vlad and he looks fine on it anyways. So I'm not really sure what the point of the 6 mid bans is really. Is there like some insider information I don't know about?
Not at least on our end, as far as I know. This looks like they're trying to keep Eris, in danger, and to some extent, it worked for the first, 2 minutes of the game until he got a double kill and proceeded to be an insane threat. But yeah, I mean, I guess when it seems, from these two games, Eris is their biggest threat they recognize, especially considering TKK's, or rather, GCC's playing with some subs, so you might as well try and target, ban, the last remaining threat. And I think it works to some extent.
Yeah, I can understand it as a goal, but I think GCC has other problems with their drafting, like picking Nami R3 after Leona and Nocturne were already locked. Like,
yeah, that's
not sus. That's sus. I don't know what else to say. Like,
yeah, I would have preferred to see something like a Nocturne or not a Nocturne, excuse me, Nautilus, or hell, even a Braum. Braum can be decent into Nocturne, just throw the Q so that absorbs Spell Shield and knock him up with ult.
I would have really loved a Braum because I think Ornn is an awesome answer to dive. Because he just, people diving into you, you press the Ornn horn, and you just, like, there's no way to avoid it if you're trying to get to a backline, right? And I think something like a Braum synergizes so nicely with that because you're just constantly forcing back the people who are diving you, right? You're CCing, slowing them down so your backline can DPS. It buys a lot of space for MF, but
yeah,
as you saw, the Nami MF just
unable to play the game.
like, it's unplayable. Like, I don't even blame them. Like, you've got TF and Nocturne in your lane every minute 30 seconds, right? And then you're playing against the Leona who has setup and a Caitlyn who can fall from range. So it's like, I think we've seen Nocturne TF win every single game it's been in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I might have missed a game here and there, but it looks really strong.
Yeah, it's just like sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying.
Oh, okay, yeah, perfect. It's just like we were talking about. We saw their Nocturne, that one play where he did kind of end up a little bit too firm from his team. TF is just like, TF for Shin are the perfect pairing with him just because it makes sure that even if he is alone, he has backup instantly. And like you said, just picking the Nami's strange. I just don't like the draft order itself. It's odd to go MF and I'd say Kha'Zix as an answer without seeing the rest of their team. Because besides really TF and Caitlyn, there's nothing else that Kha'Zix really is the threat to one shot.
Yeah, the Kha'Zix and the Nami just felt like disjointed. They don't do really the same thing at all. Like, it seems just kind of like comfort picks, I guess.
Yes.
Which is fair. I mean, like, if you're down two of the staples of your team, like two of the main players who, like, I'm guessing one of them is the main primary shot caller on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And having them gone, it like maybe one of them has been drafting as well. Like, who really knows what the inside of the team looks like? So I can imagine that it's tough, especially after a game where your bot lane, I think at one point you said it was like 1-14. I'm not sure what the end score line was, but that's brutal. Like, and obviously, like, 1 week won't make or break their playoffs runs or anything. It just
sucks to be in the moment.
It just sucks in the moment. Right. One thing on Ornn, we were just talking about it after the last game too on Maokai, but on Ornn, starting something like cloth armor 4 pots, and then just like sitting in lane and then buying a Dorn shield after like the second wave or something.
Yeah,
this gives you so much more sustained lane. Because the only, like, after Camille gets 2 items, the champ doesn't lose a 1v1 to anybody except for like Jax or something, right? Like, I don't really know what beats Fiora. I mean, Camille. Maybe Fiora, right? Fiora could possibly beat her. But the only time you're gonna really have to kill or at least put pressure on the Camille is those first, like, possibly 6 levels. Ornn does a surprising amount of damage, and if you can, like, force heavy trading early and either force the Camille to blow a teleport or something, you can at least create some pressure like that, right? Because, like, I mean, your bot lane is in an awful matchup. Ornn isn't a great matchup into Camille either, but honestly, like, I don't know what they've got to fix something. Like, either I like that they're giving Eris 5th pick, like R5. That's brilliant. I think that's exactly what they need to be doing. Okay. Yeah, you guys have anything to add?
No, just like you said, I think it's a smart move to try and give Eris, the final pick, especially if they're on red side. But they just got to kind of round out that first half of the draft a little bit better, or try and, at least if they're going comfort, try and pick something that's comfort champions that have a little bit more synergy. Nocturne, or not Nocturne, Kha'Zix wants to jump in while Nami wants to kind of play a little bit back and use the speed to get away.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent, but yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up this here post game analysis. Thanks so much again, Stormblade, and we'll see you guys in Game 3.
All right, sounds good. Have fun, guys.
All right, thank you. All right. Our cams are on. All right. We are going to go ahead and go straight into Game 3 as well. There's been another change. I think Lemowski is going support again, and Creative is going to go ADC. So Creative playing jungle, then playing support, and now we'll be playing ADC.
Excellent.
This is a pride game, but this game is also helpful for the standings as well for GCC. This helps kind of stop their free fall, and that's going to be the Fiddlesticks ban away. They waited super long for it on the side of GCC, but on the side of TKK, I don't think there's much left. Yep, Katarina's still banned away. Are we going to see the 5 bans again?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't. I don't think I want to see the 5 bans again, man. Morgana also banned away on the side of Fidstick, so that way his 2 most played champions will get any. Diana also banned away.
And it looks like GCC is also opted for blue side this time around, so I'm interested to see if they actually are going to go for like a priority pick first, because otherwise I'd argue it'd be better to stay on the red side and try and make sure that Eris is able to get some sort of, not counter pick rather, but a pick that he can do well with, like we saw last game. He was the strongest point of their team.
All right. So we're calling the final ban for GCC. TKK does ban away the Kiana and the insta-pick Nocturne. And TKK going with the Braum Hover.
Interesting. GCC wanting to steal the Nocturne, so I'm expecting them to either grab something like, Shen, Twisted Fate to make sure you can back it up, but the Braum Lucian. Ooh, that is excellent. That's a very strong bot lane, and not much you can really do to threaten that, even with a Nocturne. Braum's like a good answer into it.
We really don't see Brahms, so yeah. I think the last time we saw Braum, they did go like 1-9, 1-8. But
Thresh, not a bad answer.
No, it's not. Definitely, there are other champs as well. Neona was still up, possibly, to try and just CC the Lucian. Yes, you will take some damage, but I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Let's see. I think they should probably grab... Honestly, Caitlyn's still up. Caitlyn wouldn't be too bad, giving you that significant range advantage over Lucian. That or an Ashe even, just to make sure you have plenty of CC to kind of answer theirs. And yeah, it looks like Caitlyn. Nice.
Maybe they're listening to you, Spanaway. Are you helping the teams?
Oh, shit.
Sir, this is a family-friendly stream. You can't curse.
My bad.
It's okay.
Raucous.
Oh. So TKK is likely going for a new identity. They're trying stuff out. They already have the series confirmed win. But I should remind both the teams that playoffs are determined by game record.
Yeah, Gragas is interesting. It's not necessarily a bad pick, especially into Nocturne. He can kind of heal through some of that damage until a teammate can get nearby. But it is a little counterintuitive to the Braum. Braum wants to lock people up so his team can hit them, while Gragas is all about disrupting the enemy team and knocking them away.
So we will get 6 mid lane bans all 3 games. There was 6 in the first, 6 in the second, and 6 in the third as Camille's this last ban on the side of GCC. Silas and Vladimir ban away on TKK. Graves insta-locked in. So it is a Gragas top.
Or if anything, I'd imagine it might be Graves solo lane. That's been picking up some steam, especially in the top lane. It's not a bad, just
Could
blind
be.
top.
I don't think it's top. I don't think Peels plays it.
True, I don't know.
I think that's going to the jungle with Fitstick, and I think Peels is on the Gragas as Lysandra is instantly is locked in as the answer. There's not really any follow-up for this Nocturne.
Yeah, I was hoping to see something like that. Maybe they go Shin top. It's still a possibility. That or even Gangplank. I don't know if Mundo plays them too much. Malphite, okay.
So it's going to be a short-range Nocturne game.
Yeah. If anything, Malphite, where Lysandra's ults are the engager, the Nocturne follows up, just turning off the lights, trying to disrupt them.
Mordekaiser
hovered.
I think that'll be picked there for the side of Peels.
Yeah, I know Peels is a pretty big fan of Morden. Nice, yeah, locked in. Not too bad, just two beefy boys punching each other in the top lane. Now be whether that's a Gragas mid lane, or if it's actually Graves mid with Gragas in the jungle.
All right, both supports signaling they're ready. Checkered flag is flying out. And I do think we are going to go ahead and get into an interesting game 3 here. And now, really, I think we'll see in Champ Select, Germ is dead.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no, never mind. Turns back. He's alive. He woke up.
Looks like he might have just been grabbing a drink, I'm imagining.
Sorry about that. He was playing dead in the middle of the road. He was a raccoon.
Nice.
Nice. You say nice.
Do you not do it? I mean, it's Halloween, maybe you had to run outside and scare some kid. Or I guess it's not Halloween, but
it's not
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's Halloween.
I saw some kids trick-or-treating yesterday and today, at least, the younger crowd. It makes sense. You don't want to go trick-or-treating on Sunday when you got to go up for school the next day. Fun. Yeah, now we're just getting back into those bands where we set it up there. I'm really interested to see where that Gragas is going, whether that's a lane or a jungle.
I do like what Eris said in the chat. We are just throwing things at the wall and praying to see whatever sticks.
Not an entirely bad strategy.
No, that is the TAD strategy. But it is Gragas jungle, so Graves mid. Okay. First Salto, I see you throwing down the gauntlet. I am interested to see if you can back this up, though. I think Graves mid has been significantly not his strongest lane.
Yeah.
While it's still picked and it's still able to work, I think it only works in certain matchups.
Yeah, especially I imagine it's gonna struggle a little bit into Lysandra. Lysandra's just able to out kind of reach him.
But safe pick for Eris. Can't only die too much on the Lysandra. You have an invulnerable ult that also heals you.
It's a strong top side for GCC. Lots of either Malphite or Lysandra, two very strong CC champs that can just make sure you're locked down, and then Nocturne can just bust in and finish the fight.
Sorry about that. I had to yawn. Can't give info in a role I don't play, says Gapic. I do have Mastery 7 Nunu. No, nothing on that. I was
sorry. Sorry, I just blanked out there. Was reading a message I got sent, but
all right. So looking at these team comps as we do wait 40 seconds and the other 3 minutes into our hyperbolic time chamber just to train like Goku does. Now, is there anything interesting? I feel like there's a lot of interesting things actually reading this draft. I do want to see how this Caitlyn will look on creativity and Lemowski because they were the weak spot last game and mostly game 1.
I can't necessarily blame them too much, especially last game. That's just so much a bad draft that you can't really play it too. You'd have to play it practically, near perfect to do anything. So I can't fault them too hard for that. This time their lane has a lot more agency in the game. Caitlyn, able to shoot from farther away, and Thresh able to provide that peel, especially in stuff like Gragas, Mord, Graves. All these champions, while they can, get on top of you, they have to walk, in a pretty straightforward line, which means Thresh is going to have an easy time getting on top of them. The only real mobile one being Lucian. And I think overall GCC has a comp that's pretty, hit either Malphite or Lissandra all have Nocturne turn off the lights and then just kill that target, which I think is the right way to be playing this game. You've been having trouble the past 2 games, so you might as well just look for some wombo combo type of situation.
I do think, if it's possible, I would like to go ahead and get predictions going for this channel. So that way, we can have
Oh, yeah, I have the audience.
Yeah. We're not affiliate.
Oh.
Really? How are we not affiliate yet?
Gotcha. Overall, though, in regards to the TKK side, their comp is not so much straightforward, but, pretty self-explanatory. Just have Braum hit someone with a Q, CC him to death, and just have Lucian Graves. I'm interested to see if it's a full AP Gragas or a more, kind of bruisery tanky build, because, Mord is AP and Gragas are AP, but the majority of their damage is going to be coming in this 80 threats, so that could be pretty easy for Malphite and Lissandra just to pick up armor items early and become a lot stronger for filling themselves.
I do like the Mordekaiser pick as an old Mordekaiser one trick. I don't think it is the best pick into Malphite. I think there are other picks you can pick into Malphite that'll make him suffer, and potentially could work better with your team comp. Let me name a few off the top of my head here.
Totally not Googling?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. I mean, possibly, I think if you would change out the Mordekaiser and put in something like a Tom Kench, something there that'll take a lot of damage and just be a giant meat shield for the side for the Graves Lucian as well, and has easy setup possibly with the Gragas. I think the Tom Kench is actually a better pick, but I understand, they are going to go for the Mordekaiser.
Yeah. Mordekaiser might be something Peels is either more comfortable with or just enjoys more. I used to be a big Tom fan, but ever since the rework, I've been sad that he's kind of been relegated to the top lane. It's just not too much fun to play anymore, at least for myself. Who did Peels play in the first game? I'm now blanking on that. He played Camille last game, and then...
First game?
Yes.
Peels played Wukong, remember?
Oh, okay, yeah. They've banned him since, yeah. Okay. So,
yeah.
Besides Tom Kench, what else? Or not Tom? Maybe a Gangplank. I'm not too sure how Gangplank goes into Malphite, but he's just someone, that can keep poking him with Qs back and forth. Plus, that gives you plenty of reach to help across the map. But again, don't know Peels if he's comfortable in Gangplank. And looks like, yeah, Predator Gragas and teleport on the Graves.
All right.
And unsealed spellbook on Malphites.
Huh. That's interesting.
A little more unique.
We really don't see an unsealed spellbook at all, since they are getting rid of the rune in about 2 weeks.
Are they getting rid of Unseal? I thought they were getting rid of Omnistone.
Oh, Omnistone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Omnistone was a thing.
Yeah, Omnistone's a thing. That's the one no one uses, because it's like, oh man, if you're getting rid of Unseal, that's actually going to be hurting a couple of champions and styles. But
my bad. Forgot Omnistone existed.
It's not bad, because the other one people generally go on Malphite, is Comet, but you're not really going to be poking down Mordekaiser, because this W just gives them that free healing. So you might as well go for something where, you have the teleport, to eventually get back to lane, but then, an exhaust or an ignite, so when you like bounce into a Graves or Lucian, you can make sure they're taking a lot of damage or being exhausted right afterwards.
I personally think Comet actually is better because Mordekaiser really doesn't have much tools to stop early game, and the heal is
Yeah.
only significant if it is a full shield, which is about a
Oh,
190
true.
HP
Yeah, it
shield
depends. Yeah.
and a 190 HP shield. But I personally do think that unsealed is fine.
Yeah.
But I just want to know, what are you changing as the Malphite?
I imagine it's just because teleport becomes ghost or exhaust. Just making sure that Wombo can, be set up, because Malphite's pretty much their main true engage. Because Nocturne, this game, without having the TF or something to back him up, he's gonna have to be a little bit more safe with the way he uses his ults.
All right, as we are getting ready to load in the game there, sorry, I was reading a message, that's why it looked funny. I am wishing my girlfriend a good night.
Okay. No. Damn, no matching skins this time around.
That's a weird league bug. I have Champ Select music playing as I in the shop. This client is not broken. Riot said so themselves. So, client's not broken.
Nice.
Right, so we
Nice.
actually had a straw poll made by our honorable Jazz,
Thank you, Jazz.
who will go ahead and make a straw poll. If you guys would like to vote, cast your votes as well. See who do you think will win this game. That would be very nice and entertaining, as we're going to hopefully get predictions set up soon, as well as we're going to get started loading in.
There we go. Properly into game this time, and no super unique item starts. Everything pretty standard.
Yeah, I agree. Blue Smite for the Gragas, which is pretty normal. Fitzik actually walks up into Gapik, and Gapik will actually get a nice little trade-off right there. For Salto, not going to do much there. Eris going to be poking that as well. And this is pretty interesting.
Ooh,
The
Thresh
hook
just missed.
goes wide there. And we are still not in game. Sorry, you cannot hear this right now. Now that's going to be Gapik actually pushing up right there. We'll have to force the flash, getting greedy with the ward. All right. Sorry about that. For
Just a little bit of
those of you
technical
watching.
error, but nothing too drastic other than just that flash born. And that could be, a punishment they looked for. At least it's, jungler is not someone you can really gank, but it does hurt Nocturne if anyone comes into his side.
Very true. All right. So Gapik without that flash early game doesn't really mean much, as he'll get it around 5.5 minutes. So he'll still be there. Now, depending on these laning phases, who do you think outright wins it, Spanaway?
In terms of just looking purely at how laning phases would go, I got to imagine that it's going to be TKK, just because Lucian and Braum is such a strong lane, even into a Caitlyn Thresh. Anytime they get CC'd, that they're like, Caitlyn's pretty squishy in her own right, and Thresh is, at least in the early game, because he doesn't get that armor scaling until his souls really start to kick in. So that's a strong bot lane for TKK. I don't imagine there's going to be much action topside. As I say that, it looks like there is.
It is a lot of heavy damage going on to President Mundo, who did start the corrupting.
And then ooh, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. There's those early threats in the bot lane. And then for mid, it's just a Graves versus Lissandra minus jungler intervention. I don't see any, a lot of solo kills type of deal, or rather, a lot of kills.
I don't think much will happen mid as well, unless Graves is able to get a perfect trade-off, but
Yeah.
I think Lissandra does have Comet, not the Aftershock. That's going to be a nice little gauge right there. Lucian E, Relentless Pursuit is there. Gapik is going to go ahead and get the fear onto Braum, but the Unbreakable Shield is there. Caitlyn Trump is there perfectly. First Blood waited for the auto attack as soon as the shield fell, then hit it with the headshot guarantee.
Well done by GCC. Gapik with a perfect, again, that triple camp into the straight running and bot. Worked out pretty well this time around, too.
And this may be another thrush hook from Lamowski. Relentless Pursuit is also there. So, Lucian dodging perfectly so far.
Gapik investigating the enemy jungler. Not entirely sure why. He should have recognized that, there's nothing for him to do there. But, and it looks like with that advantage, Peels and Fitstick just pushing into the blue book.
Alright, we have ourselves Braum back into lane. Nice kill advantage for creativity. Little revenge, I would say, for that last game.
Hoping to see some good plays from them. Looks like, that's just one thing that's nice is they're still playing with their A game. Or at least, maybe not A game, but, playing aggressively as you should. Caitlyn does just have that advantage in the range, and if you can get early jungle ganks, that's always going to be strong too.
Alright, and I would like to wish everybody on the East Coast a happy Halloween.
Ooh, spooky.
As it just hits midnight. Still nice join top. Oh, the smite away from Gragas will steal away the big wolf as Gragas will be able to get out with his life as well. The hook will go wide. And the big fat hillbilly walks away victoriously. God, what a great skin.
It's a good Halloween skin.
Yep, it's a nice cosplay.
Okay, costume.
No,
nice.
it's a cosplay when it's not Halloween.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
It's a costume when it is Halloween. That's how it works.
Gotcha, I see. And yeah, Fitstick spotted out, was looking possibly to come and answer that gank bot, but ward in the bush, and then the actual Scuttle Crab is revealed.
Something I don't understand is Lord Mordekaiser is green in the splash art, but has purple effects.
Yeah, that's, glad you pointed that out. I wouldn't even really thought about that.
But that is just a personal pet peeve of an old senile Mordekaiser man. Lord Mordekaiser having more effects than most of his other skins. By the way.
Honestly, I do kind of miss the old one where you could get the pet dragon. That was really fun to play with.
I too miss Pizza Feet Mordekaiser. And Pizza Feet Tarek.
Speaking of Mordekaiser, it looks like he just hit 6. One more good trade for him. One more trade, he could look for the kill.
Even if he does go ahead and drop the Death Realm, I don't think that's still much anything there. As the nice little hook is onto Braum again. Flash is there. Ignite will confirm the kill. 2 kills in the bot lane of GCC. This is a definite revenge. Mordekaiser gonna go ahead and back. Malphite will farm the rest of this wave and back himself, I believe. Now, Dragon is being started up here on the side of GCC. That blue side getting the Dragons. Name a more iconic duo.
Yeah. Nice work by them.
And they will go ahead and find the Nocturne there. Blue buff is started, though. Braum has spotted them out. It's going to be the full bot lane there. Fitstick is top side. I believe we'll go ahead and start sealing his Nocturne's jungle up there.
Glad to see this aggressiveness from GCC.
Well, they do lose the series, they can win the Pride Game 3.
Exactly. But, it's still good. Like, even if you get kind of crushed 2 games in a row, to still, play with as aggressive as you can. It's always good to see. And especially when it's, going pretty well. They pick up the Dragon, 2 solid ganks off. The only, lane of pressure for them right now is top lane, where Mundo's getting, a little bit out CS, but not much you can really do about that. That's sometimes the nature of the matchup.
And Malphite with the attack speed slow is actually one of the better matchups into Mordekaiser. So, nice little interesting tidbit though, because Malphite a tank having a free frozen heart is insane. Nice little hook there onto Lucian, but here is the big man on campus. There's the calling. The ignite won't be enough. Caitlyn will barely live to tell the tale. And now more fighting top. The shield is popped. The heal is there. E is still on a long cooldown.
It's an excellent hook by Lamowski. Just unfortunate timing that Gragas is there. Otherwise, that looked like they could have, picked up a kill again. But nice E by Creativity as well to make sure he gets out of the angle that Gragas is looking to throw the ult.
Not really much engage opportunity for the Mordekaiser yet. The E is about a 22-second cooldown.
Hard for him to really do. It looks like, Mundo, like we were talking about, the spellbook's now got the exhaust rather than the teleport, making that fight even harder for Peels.
Just has to instantly exhaust him as soon as he is ulted, and Peels can't do anything.
Yeah, it looks like we got a little bit of a
scuffle. Gonna go ahead
here.
and get Rift Herald scuffle started. It's gonna be nice little Graves right there. Full combo will be enough. There's the Malphite ulti to try and do as much damage as he can. Can Malphite confirm this kill? Yes, it will be the Q. It will not be enough now. An instant engage onto the Lissandra, who has to use the claw away. That is going to be Rift Herald stolen. And that's going to be an engage instantly on bot lane as well. Lamowski is still there for this Caitlyn.
That was just really good play there by TKK to make sure they can, have the Braum rotate up early. Sure, they're going to lose some plates, but securing the Rift Herald's worth a plate or 2.
It's a guaranteed 2 plates for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, it looks like, they're looking to use it instantly top lane, considering both Malphite and Nocturne had to respawn. But maybe not.
It looks like they will hold it. Braum is back in this bot lane. It's a nice little engage right there on the Caitlyn. Nocturne is back top, but oof. Isolated Q damage is there. Rift Herald is dropped. That's going to be a nice little hook onto Nocturne as to waste a spell shield. Oh, no. Fitz, if he played it perfectly, would have been able to. Braum flash forward. Is it going to be enough with the Guardian? Yes, they do trade. The Caitlyn, I think, just wasn't able to confirm the kill. The Ignite does confirm it.
The Ignite and then the shield from Braum was critical, blocked the auto, and then the damage of the Piltover Peacemaker. Also, just well done to Gapik here. 2 times in a row, he's used the spell shield perfectly. The first fight at Rift, even though he went down, he blocked the Graves ult with the spell shield, and they're blocking the Gragas ult with it. Well, it looks like, that's, only, a plate remaining left technically in the top lane, so that's a lot of gold now into Peels' pockets. 30 CS advantage as well.
Oh, man.
Getting some chip damage. Now we have Dragon spawn into this 30 seconds too, so it's interesting to see what teams will look for here. Just Gragas is in the top while Nocturne's kind of beelining it straight towards it. Looks like a little bit of a trade here.
Nice little damage right there.
So
Minion secures the kill onto Germsand. Sorry about that. After receiving a text message from a family member this late, was wondering if they were all okay. Eris walking up into the graves, not the best idea you can do.
He does have
Mundo being
ults.
disrespectful. That's a nice little hook right there onto the Gragas, but Braum is instantly there as well. Ignite dropped onto Nocturne. There's the paranoia. Spell shield or not, will fall to the Graves damage. Lamowski now running, won't matter. Double kill to this Graves. Cloud Dragon will go ahead and get secured there by the side of TKK. They are being greedy though. They want more than they can chew.
Bit of an issue there. Caitlyn was just pushing the wave rather than helping her team, but now she's here for the
Oh,
fight.
that's
And
gonna
it could
nice
make the
engage
difference.
right there. Ares does have the claw go in, does have the ultimate. President Mundo teleports here. This Braum is low HP, but here's the Mordekaiser. Will only go in on the Braum. Solely won't be able to find that kill. And this fight has turned chaotic. This fight has ended horribly on the side of GCC. That is not what you want. A 4-for-all overall. They'll secure the dragon as well. TKK had misplayed this early game, but now finding 4 kills are back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, really well done by them. They're making sure they had the advantage. It was a bit of a mistake. Creativity was pushing the bot lane while the Thresh and Nocturne were trying to look for the fight. Just a little bit of uncommunication. Can't blame them too much for it. Happens to the best of us. But just, they have the advantage now. It's unfortunate back in TKK's court.
Oh, man.
Okay, so it's like, besides that, it will be a Mountain Soul, which is good for both these teams. Both have a beefy front line. Gold-wise, I'm interested to see. Thank you, Jazz. Yeah, it looks like 11k advantage for Sato in the mid lane, and it's almost 2k for Peels, but with that farm difference, it's going to be making sense. 15 minutes approaching, and only 3k, so well done to GCC. It's a shorter, but Lissandra getting a little bit picked. Nocturnal drop to possibly peel her out, but she walks back in for some reason.
There's going to be one confirmed kill right there. Braum is now, is going to fall right there. That's going to be Gragas engaged on the Gapicas there. The Graves with shield bow is active, trying his best to do a ton of damage. Shotgun blast to the face. We'll go ahead and get there. There is the calling. Will it matter? Fitzik, yes, does get it with the Q. And now TKK have completely blown this game up. Mundo, you do absolutely no damage to this Mordekaiser. First tower going straight to him. And now this is going to be really bad here. Death Realm is available. We'll go ahead and use the Ghost to get out of there. No Death Realm actually used there by Peels.
Yeah, a bit strange, but I could see possibly why, just maybe trying to save it for a target, or just, not feeling it's worth it. Thought maybe you could just get the damage itself, but 15 minutes in, now the gold lead's secured at about 6k ahead. It's back in TKK's side pretty hard. Mordekaiser now possibly going to ult the ult.
There you go. Gapik is going to go ahead and use that fear. Take a lot more damage there. Braum Q will go ahead and find that Thresh. Raptors have already been taken care of. Night Harvester completed for the side of Gragas. I haven't seen Night Harvester in so long.
Gonna be honest, kind of forgot it's an item. But it looks like, we have Rift Tail just spawned a couple seconds ago. Now, again, a Scuffle Fort. Teleport coming in for Sato, so I'm assuming this is going to be TKKs. They just have more members in the area.
I think that's a misbuy. I don't think you go Night Harvester. I think you go Ludens.
Ludens or maybe Hextech. Just give him even
Something.
longer. Yeah, Night Harvester is a little odd. Well, we'll see if he can make it work. So far, 3-0, so maybe he's onto something we don't know. A little bit of poke here in the bot lane, and it looks like, Rift.
Oh, little engage there. Thresh wasn't able to take the initial Braum knockup, so that will be a lot more damage. There is the calling onto Thresh, but Nocturne is here to change the fight for the better, and it won't be a Revolution. Will now get the flash away. Is there? Hopeless will get the confirmed kill onto Nocturne. And that's another tragedy. This bot lane is so low.
Oh, just so unfortunate. like you said, if Thrush was able to take that, it could have made all the difference. Not so much his fault, just somehow it goes. Now we'll likely see Rift drop in the mid lane. That's going to be the end hit turret for sure.
Mundo is just taking a lot of damage. Phases through the E that time.
A little bit of poke. And yeah, there's the... Oh, maybe not the turret for sure. Graves, or Lissandra does have the damage, but...
Does get huge damage off onto it. It's going to be a nice little damage there.
Third dragon spawning here in 40 seconds. And what do we have to play with? No teleports on the side of GCC. Mordekaiser's might be up in time, but I'm assuming he's just going to continue to shove in the top lane. All the ults up, I think, besides Nocturne's and maybe Caitlyn's. At least on GCC. Glacial Fissure will be up for Braum, and that looks like they'll be the only one really for TKK.
I think the culling is back up.
Oh, it looks... Yeah, culling looks like a couple of seconds remaining or so. But...
Lamowski is going to go ahead and try and be super aggressive with the positioning here. Is now instantly going to get engaged on, has to flash.
Yeah.
But this is Peels with the teleport is also there. Nice little engage hook, barely missing.
Gotta give credit to Lamowski. These hooks have been like on point, like at the right angle, just before you just short of range. Now looks like this dragon.
As we're gonna go ahead and check the straw poll here, it has only been 4 votes of 50-50 so far. And now here we go. This is the dragon fight that could possibly decide this entire mid game.
No vision for
2-level difference in the jungle. President Mundo just poking with the Qs here.
There we go.
There is Paranoia. There is Ares. This is the huge team fight you wanted with President Mundo there as well. That will be a go-ahead and secure right there. But it won't matter in the end. 4-4-0. 4-4 and a dragon steal on the side of Gapple. But does die in the Death Realm. And this inhibitor is gone.
Yeah, just, excellent smite secure there. Just unfortunate the damage was, too heavy for them. It looks like, honestly, part of the reason is just the fact that TKK has more. TKK, has more mythics completed there. GCC is unfortunately still short, at least on their mid laner. That could have possibly made a little bit of a difference.
And now, this is, while they do lose the dragon, I don't think you beat yourself up here as your TKK. Almost 10,000 gold up at 20 minutes at the game, which is insane. And Germsan will be able to auto that, barely over the wall. Almost lost that ward, an extra 10 gold to him. And really, the gold difference is mid, jungle, and top. ADC is about 300. Support is bigger at about 600. But it's really top up 2.6k. Jungle almost up 3,000 by himself. And mid up 3,000 by himself as well.
Yeah, this 20 minutes in, nearly 10,000 gold advantage. Just, this unfortunate nature of the farming, the fact that Lissandra, while she is pretty strong as a champion, just can't match the damage of Graves, especially in the early game.
And it is LDR already completed for this Graves, so Malphite is not going to be an issue anymore. They do see Gapic.
Smart buy, I think, to get that second item, considering how much frontline Lissandra, Thresh, and Mundo can make, or rather Malphite can make.
Now, this is the triple 999 game, if you remember them from the first season. They were Scuffed League, you remember that team, that legendary team of the triple 99s. I remember I had Firebeard on my team for that one, and that's going to be a nice little hook right there. Lamowski fighting Graves. The fear is there. There is the Caitlyn ultimate. The flash barely escaping right there. That's the Paranoia onto Lucian. But Lamowski is the sacrificial lamb of this fight so far.
Malphite is got out of vision with his ults.
Teleport is there. Malphite is actually going to get hit right there, and that's going to be Death Realmed instantly as well. Mundo may not live much longer. Nice little body slam right there onto the Caitlyn.
Oh,
Eris
excellent.
now goes in. Will find one. The Husk is there. Fails salto. Wants revenge. Creativity is able to jump away with the Gale Force. Officially a 10,000 gold lead with 2 dead on the side of GCC. Hook does go wide. They are hitting the Nexus towers. They want to end this game fast, but I don't think you can. I think you Baron here.
Yeah, I think they should have a little bit misplayed trying to go for the end there. Not much you can really do in terms of this turret pushing with Graves, but looks like it will be the Baron for them. Gotta give
For
credit
as
there.
much vision
Excellent
as you
team fight.
can.
Yeah. Well done to Ares to pick up that kill there, at least hurt the Lucian, because if Lucian's up, I think, that looks definitely Lucian with Graves can probably do enough damage to end the turrets, or at least end a turret.
I do think they actually kill the South turret if they focus it completely together. Lemowski trying his best to clear as much vision as possible, but Baron is started. And you know Baron is started. Can we get another magical steal from Gapic? This has to be it coming up soon. 2.1k. What?
right?
Yeah.
Which is super helpful in their playoffs run. So, well, let's hope they can like continue with this momentum and like maybe pick up some other wins down the line to like secure their spot.
Yeah, I'd agree. Like you said, it's unfortunate for GCC that they had kind of their subs coming in. I mean, the subs did good job to everyone on GCC. Just unfortunate when you suddenly have to bring out arguably some of your more critical members. Plus, then, but I think in regards to this game 3 here, credit to GCC. Their draft was a lot stronger. Their game plan seemed stronger. I liked where they were at with that early advantage. It looked like that bit of miscommunication around that third dragon or second dragon, I believe, that kind of threw the game from their advantage over back to TKK.
Right, definitely. And I think like throughout the whole series, like GCC ended up adapting well to their circumstance. And I'd love to see them like come back next week with like their full. Do they have a bye or are they on this week? This next
For
week?
what? GCC?
Yeah. Do they have a bye?
Next week they are against New York Mutants.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be like a very critical series from them. I hope they like bounce back, come back with their full team. Maybe take a few scrims down. Maybe we could scrim them even, and like make sure they're in a position where they feel confident, like essentially dropping as few games as they can for the rest of the season. Because if it comes down to where like this is the game or this is the series that like defines whether or not they go to playoffs, like that's gonna, that'll do damage to anyone's mental, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to thank the substitutes for being there as well. I think that was very helpful of them to show up.
Yeah, definitely.
On such short notice.
And yeah, I mean, like we said, they played pretty well. They did, their best, and they still, while unfortunately losing, they showed signs of life throughout the entire series and just had a lot of stuff. Just a little bit more refinement could have made all the difference.
Of course. And on the flip side, I know I've been kind of talking about the lack of GCC having their members, but TKK, like it seems like they came in with like a really solid game plan, right? Like like they came in, they weren't messing around. Like this is probably one of the better series I've seen out of them in terms of like especially I thought Fidsick went like absolutely insane this entire series.
Yeah, Fidsick, well done to him.
I would say he was the MVP of this
series.
Like
yeah. When the podcast comes around this next Wednesday, like Fidsick should be like the central talking point of like everybody, right? Because I think this is one of like the most like I just think his pathing was like despite what he would have done the same thing to like most of the other junglers in this league, just because he wasn't pathing based around like he was just pathing well. Like I don't know how else to put it. Like he just was in the right place at the right time every time.
Yeah,
which is like tough.
Exactly, and especially that first game on Morgana. I think possibly even this. Actually, I don't think he had a perfect game this third game around, but that Morgana game was just a masterclass. He wasn't even like having to be with the fights where there'd be 3 versus 3. He was finding like where he's most needed, in the side lane, picking someone off and making sure you can get a turret off it, rather than just like joining a fight that while you might kill someone, your team is already so far ahead, you don't need to be there type of deal to make sure you get that win. It's better to go focus 2 fronts at once and win both sides.
Right. And I was really happy with like it also seemed like he's branching out a little bit more than from just the like Morgana and Fiddlesticks, right? Like the Nocturne game, like I thought like Eris played his heart out that game, right? Like I think at one point I saw he was like 9-1 or something, like on the Vlad, right? Just
Eris
trying to drag his team across.
Well done to him.
Yeah, on the flip side, you see the TF like 5-1 and 22 or something is the scoreline I think I saw at one point, right? Just like an absurd amount of assists and like keeping good KDAs, and then with him, Fidsick's like 13 and 3, right? Like they were just moving around the map.
Yeah, that was a beautiful duo to see between the two of them. Their jungle and mid like strength was really on show.
And like honestly, like I have like my personal power rankings like of players individually, and I update them throughout the season. And like this series is gonna make me rethink a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
Because like obviously when I made those power rankings, like there's a lot of rookies. Like I just didn't know how certain people would play, especially competitively, right? Because competitive and solo queue are a very different game.
Very
Right.
different. Yeah, it's the whole thing of like using teamwork, actually having comms for once versus like,
Yeah.
here's my Mia ping, and that's going to represent 12 different things.
Yeah, and also like the pacing is very different.
Yeah.
Like you'll notice, and like obviously these games are ending quickly, right? But once like teams get more evenly matched, like for example TPP versus LLW, sometimes those games can go to like 45 minutes, right? Because the pacing of the early game is so much slower than like a solo queue game where like there's constant action and like constant roams, and the teams that are a lot more controlled with their style will like just like figure out how to neutralize the early game comps and then outscale them, right? So I was really happy to see that like it seems like some of the players are grasping like either jungle tracking or pacing really well, despite being like super new to competitive, which will be
Yeah.
exciting to see how they develop.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one thing and definitely taken away from the series, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to learn how to prioritize TF and not Fid, but Nocturne and drafts. As we saw, that was just an excellent combo. And we kind of saw the flip side of it in Game 3. Nocturne without someone to necessarily back him up just looks a lot weaker. If you have someone though that can directly get to wherever he is, they just destroyed that entirety of Game 2.
Right, right.
I think it was a fair series. I think GCC with their full team, it's a 2-1. I do think with how Fidsick was playing, I think Game 1 was really unattainable for how it played out. So I do think that would have been a TKK victory. I think Game 2 would have been a lot closer. I do think it would have been a different game, but I do think it. Actually, I still think with the full team, it could still be a TKK 3, not 3-0, 2-1.
Right. I think they played a lot better. They're playing at a level where I think they could have contested GCC for the most part, but I don't think I think Young Trendsetter would have found a way to like neutralize Fidsick, at least in some of the situations, right? Because like, I mean, if you know anything about Young Trendsetter's tramp pool, like he plays stuff like Graves, Talon, Kiana, like hyper aggressive junglers, right?
Yeah.
And if you're against something like that, that's going to draw bans. And maybe those bans that you're drawing unlock Eris in other areas, right? Like maybe the Kiana becomes a flex for that team. I think we saw that in one of their previous series, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not,
yeah, I believe
not
so.
sure if that was a scrim or something. I'm not sure. But not having players where you like base your draft around and you've been practicing with so long, like you saw the direct effect. Like Eris is getting like pentabanned, right? It makes it more difficult for everyone because they're not used to having to draft around that specific style.
Yeah, your entire mid lane pool is now pinched significantly. It's obviously going to throw a wrench.
Right. I remember last season, like after our first like 5 games or something of LLW, like it would be like a Syndra LeBlanc, Victor, Vel'Koz, and Zedban or something, like every game, right? And that, like, I remember how like helpless that made me feel, right? Like obviously we found other ways to work around it, but it just felt bad, right? Like everybody, like hey, you know exactly what I mean, actually, like with your Leona being banned permanently.
Yeah, like
right?
it has its advantages because it means like people are gonna ban Leona, which is like not a wasted ban, but it's this thing of like shit, I can't play Comfort, so I'm going to play something else that I might be on, but like it just throws a wrench into like ideal game plans of like if I get Leona, we grab these 2 champs, X and Z, and then it's just freeload type of deal.
Yeah, of course. So like obviously like I commend GCC for like sticking out through all 3 games. Like honestly, after game 2, like I would have felt some type of pressure.
Yeah,
so, like,
they played their hearts out in game 3.
They played their hearts out. Yeah, of course. So I don't really have anything else to add. I think it was a really enjoyable series to watch, and I'll be excited to see if TKK can keep up this momentum and how GCC bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, like I think just well played to both teams. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, very good series overall.
And with that, actually, 2 of the newest teams are officially in the top 4 of the standings.
Who are they?
New York
TKK.
Mutants is first with a 9-3 record, and TKK with 6-6, is in 4th place now because we are doing it off game record wins.
Yeah.
I see.
Nice. That's pretty good. Well done to both teams.
And then we have the 4-5s, which are War and GCC right now. TPP is 4-2, which, okay, yeah, that's right. They're playing tomorrow. I was like, that shouldn't be right. But they had the bye last week. My bad.
Okay, I was like, wait.
Yeah. And then we have 2-7, the American Dream. And then it is going to be Revolution 0-9.
I'm excited for War versus TPP.
I am too.
That's
Yeah,
going to be
that's
an
gonna be
exciting series. Yeah. My next big game to watch. Originally, I think GCC versus New York Mutants is going to be really fun to watch. They seem like they can match up really well. And then New York Mutants versus TPP, November 13th. Those are my 2 games in the next 2 weeks that are
really hype.
Yeah, those are gonna be super cool to watch because I think those are teams that are they have the capability of upsetting the standings, right? Even now, I'm surprised at how different the standings look. Just obviously, there's a lot of teams that haven't played their games, and buys screw up how they screw up the consistency of rankings, right? But having TKK as 4th place right now is not really something I would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not this early in the season. So I'm excited to see how the rest of the season develops.
All right. I think we pretty much got everything we wanted to, as well as we approach 3 hours on the streaming. Stats will be done tonight. I will be doing them right now, actually. So you can go ahead and see your stats updated as well. Thank you so much for joining us on this very spooky night. Thank you very much, Mr. Stormblade, for the nice post-game analysis. Always a pleasure to have you here. Maybe add a panel in the future with maybe you and Scalene, if you would both be open to it.
Oh, I feel like that'd be a lot of fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And thank you very much, Mr. Sun Simp himself. You got to watch some nice Leona gameplay.
I got to see it. Hopefully I will someday for my own personal view.
Hopefully. But that has been ELU Week 4, Series number 2 is wrapped in the books. TKK is going to beat down the battered GCC 3-0. Thank you very much for coming here with us. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful night.